okay, so you have your regular off-season diet and you have your lower calorie days. How many low calorie days are you doing right now?
So this week, it's how many days is there in a week? 7.
7, yeah.
So I think it's 4 versus 3. So 4 of the high calorie, and then 3 pull back. So we've done like Monday, Tuesday regular.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. We did Monday low, Tuesday, Wednesday regular, Thursday low, Friday will be high, regular. Sorry, and then Saturday. So Saturday will be regular, and then Sunday low or some shit like that, or Saturday, Sunday low. I know I've got it on paper, but we'll start sprinkling in more low days, I imagine, and just depends on what the body does. I think with like Iain, for example, he's doing a similar thing, but he's found that he's been able to put more of the regular days back in.
Yeah.
So he gets to the show. So I quite like it, actually. It's quite good.
Well, it sounds complicated. Am I turned up on your monitor?
Do you want me to turn you down a bit? Are you too loud?
I can hear myself. I don't know. I think maybe you have headphones on, don't you?
No, I haven't worn headphones for a while. I probably just got you too loud, mate, because I like your voice.
So if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about me and Mr. James Hollingshead here are talking about, or the Shed, as I like to call him, are talking about his new contest diet. So it sounds complicated, but really all he's doing is carb cycling.
Essentially, yeah. If you look at it like that, because it's just 2 cycles. You've got an A and a B. Yeah. Obviously, later down the line, you know yourself, when you've done carb cycling, you often introduce like a day C.
Yeah. A middle day.
High, medium, low. So yeah, it is really. It's carb cycling. It's calorie cycling, isn't it?
Calorie cycling, yeah. Is it just your first? This is your first week, right?
Yeah, literally. So I'm only a few days in. So weight hasn't come down yet. It's still sticking pretty much.
Yeah. Dude, how the fuck are you getting so strong? I just saw you post a video, barbell rowing almost 5 plates. What are you fucking?
That's just normal training over here, man. Like that's what Luke would do. That's what I would do. I don't know,
man. Even in my prime, like the most I would barbell row is like 4 plates for 10.
Yeah, but I bet it was a really good form. I bet your 4 was really tidy.
Well, it's just not any better than yours. I saw your form. It was like you're slow and strict.
Okay, so
it's crazy.
4 plates, yeah, or 4.5. There's not much difference in that.
No, but it is though. But it is because you see, like as bodybuilders, like a lot of bodybuilders can get to 4 plates.
Yeah,
you don't usually.
Beyond. It's true. There is a sticking point.
You don't usually see guys.
There's that 4 plate. It's the same with bench. It's bench and rows. It's like that 4 plate sticking point. Yeah. Some people go beyond. Some people don't.
I don't know if that's a matter.
The only thing I can say.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the only thing that makes you go past it is by going past it, but you got to get used to it.
I think the reason I was going to say, just like as I was cutting you off, I was going to say I think the reason a lot of people don't go past it is fear.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because back in the day, fear used to definitely determine how my workouts went.
Yeah.
And then it was only till I started like sort of training with Jordan Peters that I kind of let go of fear a little bit and started to actually go beyond my norm.
But how do you, but that's a question I have for you is like, okay, and I'm not going to do this now because now I'm 41, but even at 30, but even at 31, when I was like in my prime, if I could do 4 plates, actually even last year, like before I tore my tricep, I was doing 4 plates for 10 reps on a bench.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go, even if I put a 10 on, it would fuck me up in the head. And I don't know why that, and I guess the question I'm asking you is, what is it that training with Jordan, what is it that made you kind of let go and go, I'm going to go past 4?
I think because his focus is so prioritized on progressive overload. So because that becomes your main driving force in the training, you can't be scared because the whole purpose behind your training is to go to new numbers. So I think it's just a shift of perspective. You start to welcome new numbers rather than be scared of them. So I think it's ultimately down to what your training style is and what your training purpose is. Like progressive overload, when it's as raw as uncut as his style, you don't get scared of any number. Like I've never seen Jordan scared of any number.
So crazy
on any lift.
Yeah,
it is crazy. You know, it is. And that's why injuries do occur. He's been lucky to avoid many, and I've been lucky to avoid many. But there's so many out there that have fallen victim of it. So it's trying to find that fine line, isn't it?
I remember I was talking to Luke, and I think he said it in videos too, and he was saying something about if you're not scared, you're not lifting enough.
Yeah.
That was one. And I used to say it's funny, like even before I knew Luke or knew any of you guys, back when I was 30, I used to load up the leg press.
Yeah.
Like I would load it up with 14 plates, and then I would put an Olympic bar through the middle.
Yeah, fuck it.
And put another 4 plates on there.
Yep.
And people would come over and go, "Are you fucking nuts?" And I'd be like, "I want to be a little bit scared of the weight. Like I want to feel like a little bit worried."
Yeah, definitely.
But back then I could go through it. And I guess the question I'm leading to is, if somebody like Jordan gets hurt, right? It's bad for him, but it's not, because his business is not built on competition.
Yeah.
Do you worry at all? And not to jinx you, knock on wood.
Yeah, no. Of course I do. Obviously, let's be honest. I was training with Luke this year, and he tore his pec. Yeah. And we would, and I saw it firsthand. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, shit. And I'm thinking of all the things that could have done mentally to someone when you're the expected almost heir to the bloody throne. Like when you're potentially one of the best bodybuilders in the world.
Yeah.
Even though the pec tear, it wasn't a bad one, and people might not have even noticed it. It's the psychological aspect of it, like knowing you're not invincible anymore, knowing that you're starting to become vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because the younger years of bodybuilding are just like the younger years of anything in life. When you were young, I remember being a kid and jumping off of things and doing fucking front flips and all sorts without any comprehension of fear.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then it's only when you get older and you have an accident, you fall and you land on your arm, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm worried now.
Yeah.
And that's the same with the bodybuilding. So I don't know, because I haven't had the injury yet.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but you do have to be cautious, man, because I've seen it firsthand.
It's funny.
So some days I have had Fouad, like I'm benching one day, and I like flat benching. No one likes doing it, but I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been days where I've gone to 4 plates and I've gone, you know what, today I'm not going to go any heavier than that, because it just doesn't feel like it today.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be able, but see, this is also a tricky thing. Me and Paul were talking about this. He's like, because I think last week I was squatting 4 plates on the Smith machine, because I'm not, like, my knees bother me a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, you got to listen to your body, this and that. And I said, Paul, if you're not competitive, you can listen to your body and you can just scale back. But when you have a goal of getting on stage and your body has to look a certain way, there's a very fine line between listening to your body and not doing enough.
Yeah, there is.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you only have to look at Dorian Yates. Dorian is a prime example of. So Dorian probably didn't want to have to do everything he did and get injured like he did.
Yeah.
But it was that fine line between, if he didn't work as hard as he did, and if he didn't do what he did, would he have had those 6 Mr. Olympia titles?
That's what my point is. And people tell me all the
Same
time,
shit,
like,
man.
yeah, they're like, oh, you got to scale back, you got to train light, and I'm like, your body will only look a certain way if you do a certain thing. It's not. I can't start just going and do fucking 15, 20 rep supersets and expect to come back looking like I did in 2015. It's not going to work.
No, you scale back, your muscle scales back.
Exact. That's how I see it. And all along the way, there's people that say, no, man, you don't have to. You can train light. And I'm like, it depends. Not if you're in the competitive realm. It's different.
And also, how those people carrying substantial muscle.
Ben, or not Ben. Ian, how are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Bad, bro.
Sorry, we're just having actually a conversation that you fit right into. We're talking about
you fit exceptionally.
We're talking about lifting heavy and avoiding injury and fear, and how that all plays into
avoiding injury, something you know nothing about.
Hey, you're still, how old are you? 28? Wait till you're
49.
Yeah, wait till you're fucking 39, then come talk to me.
Fingers crossed.
No, but no, in all honesty, I was just asking James, and I ask you the same question: is what is it that gets you under a bar with 5 plates and with all you have on the line? Because even when I was just telling James, even when I was in my prime, I would stop benching at 4 plates. Even if I got 10 reps, that would be where I would stop.
Yeah.
What gets you going to 4.5 or 5 without fear of risking your injury of your career, like your well-being?
I think that's kind of like a progression, right? I mean, it's like you're slowly just adding like little increments to there and like testing yourself a little more, and then you get that comfort under the bar the heavier you get, right? Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been doing super heavy benches like that, 6 reps or less kind of heavy benches since I was 19 years old. So that comfort level is kind of like instilled You know, maybe if I'd had a significant injury from it, I would probably feel differently.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more I watch, like, you know, seeing guys like Jansen just tore his shit up, and, you know, seeing guys like this doing, you know, with the heavy lifts and seeing it, it obviously does make me a little more hesitant, especially with the flat pressing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I try and be as cautious as I can with my form, and, you know, try and protect myself as much as I can. But yeah, I think I don't know if it's more of as much a mindset as it is just like a alert thing over years, right?
Yeah. Do you think you guys
it's a habit?
Sorry, do you guys think it's and Ian, I'll let you answer first and then James, but do you guys think a lot of it has to do with genetics? Because my first major tear was my very first year of bodybuilding. Like, I was 20, it was like 3 weeks out from my very first show. I tore my left hamstring, like, off the bone. Like, one of the, you know, there's 3 pieces to your hamstring. The furthest one to the left, I tore it off. And that was like my first year of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So is that kind of thing, like the injury prone guys, is that a genetic thing, or is it the way we're eating, or is it the way we're training, or what do you guys attribute something like that to? I would say,
I mean, yeah, if form taken out of the equation, then obviously it's going to become genetic. I mean, if you get a guy with, you know, crazy good, like, you know, a low propensity to getting injured, and then they have crazy bad form, obviously that risk is going to be there. But if you have a guy with obviously sloppy form, and then also that kind of, you know, genetic predisposition, they're kind of really, you know, setting themselves up for some fuckery, right? So,
yeah.
You know, there's obviously going to be a genetic, but I mean, it's like the same thing with everything, right? I mean, you get guys that take one shot of gear and they get fucking every side effect in the book. I mean, you know, where some guys could run 10 grams of test and they would never get gyno with no AIs, right? So it's, you know, there's going to be people like that with everything, right?
What about you, James? You think you agree with that?
Yeah. The genetic component is massive, because, like you say, you take away, if you put everyone on a level playing field between, you know, just all with great form, and there's going to be certain members of that group that get the injuries, and there's going to be certain that don't. Where does the difference lie? It does lie in the genetics and obviously the makeup of the human, you know, body. But there's something different about some people.
But sometimes I think there's a couple other factors that people dismiss. And I think I do want to agree with you guys. Form is probably first, but I think all of us have pretty good form. Like, you know, I'm probably a little bit looser than either one of you, but I still don't think it's bad. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? But
okay, well, let's look historically here. Sorry to interrupt, but like guys that are like the known guys for being like chronically injured, like the Branch Warrens of the world, the Ronnie Coleman's, I mean, okay, you aside, because your form is pretty decent. But if you look across the board, I would say that a lot of these guys don't have form that us now in 2020 would consider good, tight, acceptable form. You know?
But I don't know if that's true, because if you look at, you know, Dorian Yates was torn to hell and his form was impeccable. If you look at Evan Sanapani, he tore his knee, you know, he tore his patella. Evan's form was always great. Victor Martinez.
Yeah, but Evan tore his knee in the fucking garden on the ice.
Yeah, but that's the same thing for Branch, though. All of Branch's injuries didn't come in the gym.
He's not done any of them in the gym.
Yeah, no. I mean, things like that are obviously just fucking a combination of shit lucks and shit genetics with the injuries like we just discussed. I mean, there's going to be some, you know, some component of just shitty luck in there as well, right?
But this is what I was going to ask is, I think there are some components that people don't consider. And the first one that comes to mind is nutrition. Like, I like to, well, being hydrated, of course, but sometimes, but being hydrated is not the only thing. Cause I think just an electrolyte imbalance, because a couple of my injuries have come after a big cheat meal the night before.
Yeah.
So I always think to myself, are my electrolytes out of balance because I had all this fucking salt and shit,
the sodium,
and all the sodium the night before, or is it just because my body's inflamed because I had a whole bunch of crap food and then I trained legs the next day? You know what I mean? So how much does nutrition play into injuries is what I'm kind of getting at.
I mean, that's really tough to say. I mean, if you look across the board, like, do you think the guys that are getting, you know, chronically more injured are guys that are a little loose with their diet? I mean, I don't. Well,
Branch is definitely not loose with his diet.
I think Evan would be. No, not really. So I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I don't know enough guys, like, off the top of my head, that the injuries and what their, you know, their kind of habits with dieting is.
The third thing,
I'm sure it could definitely have some kind of impact.
Yeah, the third variable I was going to point to is overtraining, because I'm notorious for it. Like, John would always tell me, he's like, "You're doing too much."
Yeah.
So, how many of us are doing too much and just don't realize it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to have some impact for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, actually, out of the three you've named, probably the one that's the most significant contribution. I think.
Yeah, not giving your body enough rest.
Yeah.
Because even like sounds silly, but like the last couple of weeks, especially like even in my own training, has been scaled right back to really low volume from Patrick.
Yeah.
And the way that my joints feel fresh.
Yeah.
That signifies everything to me.
Huge difference.
Like just that information alone, you know how it is, Ian. It gets you ready to go again, of course, but you can feel the recovery in certain areas that are the links, you know, the weak links in the chain.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you're overtraining and if you're overdoing it, there's going to be wear out and burnout at some point, and often it goes into the connective tissues and areas like that, doesn't it?
Ligaments are going to take the grunt of the damage, and you wear them down too much, something's going to pop, right?
Definitely. You know, after all this time, if I had to point to one thing, for me, I think it would be the overtraining aspect.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever take those deload weeks. I just go. You know what I mean?
And I think, and looking at the names we've listed, I think that could be probably the most common factor between all those people you named.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, Ian, you're only like 3 weeks out now, right? 4 weeks?
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah.
3.5. How you feeling? How's everything going? You guys are both working with Patrick Tour, for those who don't know.
Yep.
How's that going?
Great. Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest, it's definitely, I hate to use the word easy, but I mean, it's certainly the easiest prep from a mental and a physical standpoint. I mean, I'm still eating tons of food. I'm doing very minimal cardio. You know, my state of mind and my energy levels are, you know, excellent. I mean, I feel better now than I ever do during an off season. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I feel great. Yeah.
What are your calories at? Are you still eating a lot of food?
Yeah. Shit tons. Yeah. I mean, the lowest I've been on a low day is about 300 carb, maybe slightly over. And that's still with some fats in there and proteins kind of increasing. Like as that carbs have come down, my proteins increase. So my calories haven't actually declined that much. And then the most I've done is 30 minutes of cardio in one day. That's it. So
you're doing, I think he said somewhere you're doing like 400 grams of protein. So if you're doing 400 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs, you're getting in at least 2,600 calories, and then you got to add the fats.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least 3,000 probably on the low days.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, man. That's easy.
No, and then my high days are probably at least 2 to 2.5 times that for carbs. Wow. So probably 600 to 700, a little more fat. So yeah, I mean, it's been good for sure.
This is probably very different from your previous preps, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was very different from my previous preps because I had a very different off season. You know, my starting point was vastly different than what it was, especially like say going into the 2019 season. You know, I got a little sloppy in my off season in 2019. Like I got married in the winter 2018. You know, I went on vacation. You know, I kind of fucked the dog a bit. I mean, like my training, my nutrition, like I didn't miss meals. I didn't fuck off my training, but it's just like the whole effort was very lackluster for what I would consider like, you know, for myself for an off season. And then when it came time to prep, I definitely showed. I mean, you know, with even just a little higher body fat, I had to push way harder to get the same response. You know, it was just my body just wasn't responding the same. I mean, Toronto Pro and you know, and look at it in comparison last year, I was doing 45 minutes twice a day, you know, an hour and a half of cardio and eating 100, 150 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like to elicit like 1 pound losses, where now I can like go from, you know, 350 to 300 carbs and I'll lose 4 pounds, you know? So,
okay. So there's two things, but I want people to get two things from that, because I'm pretty sure most people, all they heard from that was, I stayed leaner this year and that's why I'm doing better. But I think the second component that's more important in my mind is you probably ate a lot more this off season.
Absolutely.
And it was a lot cleaner, right?
Big time. Yeah.
So one of the things,
the most food I've eaten and the cleanest amount of food. I also kept cardio in the entire off season. You know, so I got to a lot heavier than I was, you know, 295, 297, but I was in pretty good condition.
Yeah.
At that weight. I mean, that would have probably been comparable condition to I was at probably 275 to 280 the previous year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yes. That's the thing to take out of it. I mean, the amount of clean food I was able to get in definitely elicited the biggest response to like my metabolic function once prep came, for sure. Yeah.
But your gear levels probably didn't change at all?
From what? What do you mean?
Like from the previous year, your gear, the stuff, anything you're taking is probably the same for the year before, correct? If you don't talk about it.
I'm trying to think. Off season, no, not a drastic difference. During prep, I'm definitely taking less than I've ever taken. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically the main difference we're looking at is just the food was cleaner.
Yeah.
And you're more focused and you're eating more. And I think that's where your gains came from.
Yes.
Okay. And James, since you're using the same coach and you've made some drastic differences this year too. So would you say the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's just, it's amazing how important food is, because food is what ultimately allows you to go in the gym and perform. And then as a response to that performance is the changes that occur in the physique. Obviously, yeah, the other things have to be in place, but like Iain says there, even with like the drugs, you don't have to push drugs heavy if you're putting the nutrition in and your body's in an optimal position. I can tell you firsthand that even working with Patrick, I'm using less than I would.
Yeah.
And it hasn't shown. It's because the nutrition is so on point. Yeah. And like you say, metabolically, bodies are in such a prime place versus previous experiences.
Yeah.
You're just able to get more out of the body. The body's just working so much better. Like there really is there's no secret to it. It's just work really hard. But like when I say work really hard, don't just work hard in the gym. Work hard to get the food in and work hard to use the food in the gym.
Yeah.
And that's kind of really it. I don't really notice anything else scientific going on.
Everybody who's watched this podcast knows I'm like a huge advocate of bulking. And that's pretty much what you guys are doing. But people seem to think the term bulking means that you have to get fat. And when I say bulking, I'm talking about the way you guys did it. Like you're doing it with clean food. You're not cheating and eating a bunch of garbage. It's all like stuff that your body's going to utilize. But the main point is I want to ask you guys, when you started your off seasons, for example, Iain, let's just use a hypothetical number. Your calories are probably around 4,000.
Sure.
You probably got up to 6,500, 7?
65, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the problem, I think, when people start bulking is they go, well, Iain was doing 6,500, so they'll start day one, 6,500.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you guys were able to maintain your conditioning is you're starting at 4 and letting the body build up to, right? So how long did it take you to go from building like your first off-season diet into like your peak off-season diet?
Probably, well, I guess I would have started my off-season, let's say October. I probably hit like my best, like my peak by probably December at some point, okay. So we're talking like 8 to 10 weeks for sure.
Yeah. But I would say that you're genetically gifted for staying leaner.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Yeah.
So the average person might need 3 or 4 months to get to that jump in calories and still stay lean, right?
Yeah. I mean, you also have to think like, guys like any of the three of us, I mean, people think just jumping in, but this has also been a progression of food over decades for us.
Yeah, that's true too.
I wasn't eating 6,500 last off season or the off season before. It's been like, it was 4,000 was an off season, then 5,000, then 5,500, now 6,000, now 65. So it's been a progression over years, not just within one off season. So I think people need to think of it as like a long-term thing as well, because like a lot of people would be like, well, yeah, I can jump into 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, but they might get just fat because that might be too much food for them. It's been a long-term, acclimation to that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to show them was not as much the calorie number, but the difference in jump and how long it took you to get there. So if say the average guy is 200 pounds and he's eating 2,500 calories a day, if he wants to start bulking, he's not going to go right to 5,000 or right to 4,500. He's going to go 27, 29, 31, and so on, right?
That's also just a good way to get fucking discouraged too. I mean, if you're a 200-pound guy and you try and eat 5,000 calories, and you're gonna get 2 days into that, and you'll be like, I can't eat. I have no appetite. It's like, well, no fucking shit. You got no appetite. Like you doubled your food overnight and expecting to eat it. I mean, that would be like me jumping to 8,000 calories right now and being like, okay, like I couldn't do that. Are you crazy? I could do that for maybe a day, maybe 2.
Yeah. So would you guys say? Because this is the other problem on the flip side is. When people diet, they'll go from eating, 5,000 calories a day or 4,000, whatever they're eating, and they'll strip it to 2,000.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they look like shit.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is it works the same way, either in a positive gain or in a negative when you're dieting. Yeah. How long is it taking you to get down to the calories you're at now? You've been dieting for how long?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been more, and I guess it hasn't been a massive reduction because I already had like kind of the set low and high days. It's just been an introduction more low days, So if you're doing it from like a carb cycling standpoint, so like, at the beginning, it was like basically my off-season diet carried into my prep, and you'd introduce like a low day on the off day, when I wouldn't train. Yeah. And then it would be like introducing 2 and then introducing 3 and then just high days on like my weaker body parts. And then, kind of based off now just how I look and how I feel. So it's been just more of a progression of eliminating high days and introducing more low days, I'd say. But I mean, it's taken me the lowest amount of high days I've had and the lowest amount of calories on those low days is taken, I mean, almost 20 weeks, right? I mean, I've been prepping since like fucking January or February or something. So, I mean, it's taken a while to like progressively get down there, and you know, it's been definitely in stages.
Yeah. So you're getting ready for Tampa. Who in Tampa, and I don't know, but nobody really wants to answer these questions, but who in Tampa do you think is your biggest competition, if you want to answer that?
I mean, Hunter in my mind is my only competition. Look, I'm not going to be a fucking D-bag here and say like, all right, I'll wipe the floor with him. Look, Hunter has made massive improvements. He looks awesome. Do I think he's on my level right now? No. But do I think he's the best competition and he'll certainly be competition? Yes.
Okay. What about, his last name's Mackey. What's his first name? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mackey's not got a chance. No,
Joe is like, no, I've competed with him before. I mean, he's like
wait a minute. Okay. I want to bring it up here just so people can see who we're talking about.
Mackey looks great. No, he looks really good in pictures. He's got great body parts, but I think even I've placed higher than Mackey in the show.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ever looked like this.
Oh, he has.
I think he's going to be the dark.
Look, he looks the best he's looked right now, but I don't like, I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be as honest as possible. Yeah. I think he's like a guy that in his best showing might sneak into like the bottom of a first call out or like middle of a second call out, where I haven't been out of a first call out since 2016.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say he's going to beat you. I just feel like he's a little bit of a dark horse.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, will he beat some guys that were beating him last year, 2 years ago? Fucking right he will. Is he going to be a guy that's swinging for top threes in pro shows this year? No.
Yeah.
So you think Hunter? Who else is doing it? Hunter, Mackey. Who else? Is there another name? I know Justin Mackey's doing it.
What's his name? Who else is doing Tampa?
I think Justin's going to do well. I think he's a little bit young still. He's put on a little bit more mass.
There was someone else. Well, Samson's is saying he's doing it, but is he going to be able to get over here?
I don't think he'll be able to get over there.
Yeah. So Samson, I mean, sure.
Hunter looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, Hunter looks great. I mean,
let me ask you this. How do you think you beat him?
Well, I think the thing with me and Hunter is Hunter and I have all the same strengths, but I'm stronger at them, and all the same weaknesses, but my weaknesses are still better than his. Like his back shots are his weakest, which are also mine, but my back shots are still better than his. My best shots are my side chest, my side tricep, my most muscular, which are still better than his. I think he beats me on a front double. He's a little nicer shaped. He can beat me in a front double for sure. But I think every other shot I outsize him, and my flow is just as good when you put, in a side tricep. I mean, I think anyone has a hard time staying next to me in a side chest or side tricep, not just Hunter.
Yeah.
And those are also his best shots. I mean, front double, he takes me. I think maybe in abs and thighs, he could take me. But even that, like, it's not a great pose. He hits it kind of from that side angle, like I hit it too.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I don't think and I think that's an advantageous thing for me, that we have the exact same strengths and weaknesses, and mine are just a little better than his in every aspect in my mind.
You do have you have similar looks. You're definitely right.
I need to have a more seasoned look of his look,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got some years on him, right? So you're going to have more muscle maturity and a little more size. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Does anyone know how old Hunter is? I have no idea.
I think he's like 25.
Is he that young?
Yeah, but when
he's young, he's older than that.
Listen, he's close to, he's about 30, 31.
When you're 40, everybody's 25.
We're gonna look up right now how old Hunter is.
Yeah, he's got to be the same age as at least us, I think.
I don't think he's in his 30s.
Fucking Bumstead is 25, man. You think he's that fucking young? Come on.
He's not as young as Chris.
He's 27.
Chris is Bumstead's only 25 years old.
He's 27.
He's 27. What's his birthday? May 17th. Wait.
I was closer than you guys. He's 27.
28 then.
I didn't think he was that young.
He's born in 1992, so he's only 2 years younger than me, but he's May and I'm November, so he's only actually like 18 months younger than me.
All right.
So I turned 30 this year. He'd be 28. So yeah, I mean.
Fuck, I'm old.
How old are you?
I'm 31. Fucking hell. I'm leaving. Go ahead. See you now.
I turned 30 this November. So yeah, I guess Hunter would be like 2 years younger than me.
In my opinion, 30 to 35 is the prime years of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's where I'm getting now, like starting to get into that groove.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see it in your physique now. You're starting to finally kind of fill the frame out, and it looks denser, it looks thicker. Yeah, you're definitely up a level from last year.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be so. You guys, what do you think? How do you think Samson's gonna do if he can make it?
He won't touch Ian.
No, I mean I've already beat Samson. I'm not worried about Samson. I mean I think Samson. The biggest thing with Samson is he's like Quinton. Like all the tools in the world, you know, shape, muscularity, roundness, but the conditioning is just like 5 to 10% not where it needs to be beating guys that are not quite as nicely shaped as him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone like Quinton when he did Toronto Pro. I mean, and no shots against someone like Joe Seaman. I love Joe. Joe's a great guy. But like someone like Quinton should beat Joe every single time he steps on stage with him.
But in defense of Quinton, and only because I'm looking at this objectively, I'm not obviously trying to take any sides. Quinton's only fucking like 23 or some shit.
I mean, hey, and I agree.
So no matter how, what I'm trying to say is, I remember being 23, and no matter how shredded you get at 23, it's only going to look so hard, right?
I go on my Instagram and pull up pictures of me at 23. Bumstead won a fucking Olympia at 23, man.
Yeah, and I won the super heavies at 24. And I was
say, hey, wait a minute. I didn't say you can't win shows at 23.
No. Let's go. Go down. Okay, wait, go up.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Okay, go up. Left side. Top left.
Ian's mad.
That's my pro debut, Orlando, that I did with you.
Yeah, I remember this.
I'm 24 there.
Yeah.
And I have shows from before this. I was still in amateur, but I'm harder than that.
But wait a minute, time out. We've already established on 2 different podcasts that I've done with you that you are genetically gifted to being shredded.
Okay, but everyone can get fucking shredded. Come on.
No, everyone can get shredded, but there's a look that certain people will
of course, yeah.
Will only achieve with enough time under the bar.
Sure.
Right? So not everybody at 23 can look. This is what I'm looking at right now. Looks like somebody who's 30 years old. Yeah. That doesn't look like a 23-year-old, because this is like one of your genetic gifts is that you get really hard, right? Most 23-year-olds are not going to have this level of hardness. And I don't know, James, James, did you get this hard at 23?
24, I got pretty hard because I won the supers at the British. I was the hardest in the lineup, definitely.
But I'm not saying
I didn't have the inside.
But I'm not saying conditioned. I'm saying the level of hardness.
Yeah, no, you can.
I don't see it very often in young guys.
Listen, I'm just going to say this though, Ian, you look like a fucking massive Daniel Craig there.
He does.
Yeah, that's funny.
James Bond, your heart out.
Face and a little bit of hair there, yeah.
So this is you now.
No, this
is 10 weeks out. Sorry.
Well, that's 10 weeks out when I started prep for. See, it's 16 weeks ago. So yeah, I mean that would have been 10 weeks out, but when I started prep for before shows got canceled.
So pretty much.
No, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's people trying to come in too heavy that are not as big as they think.
I really don't think. I think with Quinton, honest to God, I think Quinton's one of those guys that just needs time. Because I see him in person all the time, and when I look,
he needs time. What do you mean he needs time?
When I look at his physique, Ian's right. He has all the tools, but I just don't see the level of maturity because he's so young.
Yes, but time is muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs more muscle. What I'm saying is when people, what's the problem is people try to come on stage at a number 260 or some shit like that, when really they have no business being 260. They should just be like 245.
But what I'm saying is I don't think he's doing that. His conditioning was good, but the maturity of the muscle.
I agree with you to an extent that the maturity will make a difference. But do I think he could have pushed down 5 to 7 more pounds and been harder? 100%.
Maybe.
And, I mean, sorry, we got off track here because this was about Samson. Samson doesn't have this excuse. Samson's not 23 years old.
How old is Samson?
How old Samson?
He's 36 or some shit.
Okay, so what's the excuse here?
So Samson should come down. This is what I'm trying to say about Sam is, and he's someone I consider a friend. He needs to come down 10 to 15 pounds more than he does.
I can see that too in his photos.
Because it's not in a rude way. He's not as big as what the weight on stage is showing. Like when he comes second at the British, he had a lovely shape and he was very comparable to Nathan because he had the similar flow, but he was nowhere near what the shape he should have been in that show. And there was guys that, in my opinion, in that show that were in much better condition that I could have even placed higher than him. And that's not because I'm taking anything away from him. It's just because I know that that's not him presenting his best physique. Like he didn't come in shape.
Do you guys think the level of let's put diet aside because let's hypothetically just say everybody suffers during their diet. Do you guys think the level of intensity in your training is going to dictate how mature your muscle looks?
Of course.
Okay, so you guys would agree with that. So someone like Samson or Quinn.
Wait, I have the perfect example for you.
Okay.
and this is not even me taking a shot at him. Maybe it is. I don't give a shit. Regan Grimes is the perfect example of this. Great shape, lots of muscle for a guy, but there's absolutely no level of hardness to that physique. It's round, but very not dense muscle. But when you watch him train, I can see exactly why his physique looks the way he does. And it's paid off in some ways because I think his lighter training and his more like, volume based, like not as hard, heavy, intense stuff has given him like a good connection, and it's developed a crazy back because he's not just slugging weight from A to B. He's got obviously moving, the elbow drive is good. He's developed certain parts like that really well that most guys don't.
Yeah.
But when you look at the level of hardness, it's not the same. And he's not that young that there's an excuse. Like
I can see what you're saying, but he does train. See, with Regan, I don't think it's that he trains light, but you're right about
I only see what I see on Instagram. Sorry. I've never trained with Regan. I see him doing grimy fucking pullovers and his, silly, fancy exercises. But I would consider a 75% intensity.
But I see him squatting, on his Instagram also. He's squatting like 4 plates with a safety squat bar, which to me is pretty significant.
Sure.
And but it's not the weight necessarily, it's the level of intensity. He doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not saying the weight. I'm saying the intensity.
The intensity doesn't seem like he's crazy.
Yeah.
But that could be
heavy. But if you do 4 plates and stop at 10 reps when you could have done 25, it doesn't matter if it's fucking 5,000 pounds when you could do 10 more reps with it,
But that could be also why his body looks so clean and fresh still.
Absolutely. It's a trade-off. I mean, there's definitely a compromise there. I mean, he's definitely been injury-free. His physique looks very fresh. Yeah. But when it comes, when you step him on stage, like the shows he did last year, and you step him next to guys that are a little, bigger and more mature, you can see the variance there big time.
Well, we can scale this up a bit and say, James, would you think that's the same thing with Ronnie and Jay? Because Jay kind of had, if I think about it, kind of had Regan's training style. Mm-hmm. And Ronnie was obviously the craziest of all of us. So is that the difference between their levels of conditioning?
I think to a certain extent. I think it's exactly what Iain says. I think to a certain extent, because I see massive similarities in, say, in Regan to Derek Lunsford.
Yes.
Yeah.
Derek's one of the best. Derek has some of the best muscle-mind connection out of any bodybuilder I've ever seen. Yeah. I've actually seen him train, and it's remarkable how much he can fire a fiber. Yeah. But there's just something about the rawness of training with a certain intensity and integrity that creates a certain, like a harsh dryness to a physique. And you say, Coleman had that.
Us three are perfect. Like, we all have that same look. We all have kind of trained that same way in our career. Yeah. And you look at guys like that, they don't have the same look, and they've trained that same way in their career.
Can you think
of some, like, look, Ronnie could have trained like Jay, and he probably still would have looked like Ronnie. I
don't think so. I don't think
you
so.
Don't think so?
No, everybody says that about everybody says Ronnie could have got away with anything and been I honestly think Ronnie's mentality is what made Ronnie. I don't think he could have done anything.
No, I'm not disputing that. I think he would have been 95% pretty much as good, and he would have had that same level of hardness. I think so.
Maybe.
I think a lot of it with Jay comes down to Jay was trying to keep up with the size of Ronnie, so he wasn't pushing the conditioning to the same level. I think could he have got down 5 more pounds and been a little tighter through the glutes and hamstrings and lower back? For sure he could have. But when you're saying it to Ronnie, who's 275 on stage at the same height as you, and you're 255, you want to be as full as you possibly can to be even comparable to that, right?
Well, that's the thing with Jay. Like, he even said himself, didn't he? He's like, you think of the year that he came back in 2009 and he was 255 again. He preferred being 255 than in the 270s.
Yeah.
It's just, it was a matter of what you have to do.
Yeah.
And at the time, it's like you said, he had to chase Coleman on size.
Do you think
we all know that his condition was much better and more even around the 250 mark?
Do you guys think there's anybody that you can think of that had that grainy look that wasn't an intense training person?
Nope. I can't.
Can you think of anyone? No.
Who are you talking to? Is it Melissa?
I'm in Montreal. I'm at my buddy Julian's house.
Oh, okay. I can't seem to think of anybody. Like Dexter gets grainy sometimes, and Dexter doesn't train super, super hard. I mean, he trains hard, but not heavy. But he also doesn't have that super grainy look. It's like in between.
That's also like where an age component is definitely coming into play there, too.
Yeah.
That's definitely got more. So if you look at him in like 1999, 2000, he didn't have that look the same as he does now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Interesting. Guys, we have like 300 questions, man. Do you guys mind if we get to some of these? I picked out some of the better ones, I think. I don't know, but we'll go through them. Philip Ferreira says, what is the worst piece of advice you ever got in your career and actually used it?
Ooh.
If you guys want to think about it, I got one. I thought of one.
Let's hear yours. I want to hear yours.
I had a coach. It was actually Fakhri Mubarak who decided to help me about, I think it was like he came on like 3 or 4 weeks before the Arnolds in 2014. And I was following everything he said. And then the last day before the show, he's like, I want you to drink 4 liters of water. And I was like, and I know people leave water in now at the end, but I've never fucking done 4 liters. It just seemed.
Dude, I drank 10 liters of water the day of the show last year.
Okay, I don't care. Listen, it's all about how you set up the whole prep.
Of course,
right? So I listened to what I just, I knew not to do it. I was like, this is not going to work. And I fucking did it. And I swear to God, I was a total fucking water bag the next day.
Really?
Yeah. And I almost felt like he did it on purpose because he was working with someone else who I'm not going to mention, but
yeah.
I'm like, why the fuck would he have me drink 4 liters of water the day before the show, which is something I had never done before. I've had coaches leave water in, they'll leave a liter in, whatever, something like that.
Sure.
But that's probably the worst mistake I've made where I'm like, I'm just going to follow what he says no matter what and didn't push back.
I mean, I can't think of anything like that specific. I mean, I remember the first show I ever did, I had 2 with this guy. I mean, I love the guy to death. He's still a friend of mine. He's, he does, from a coaching aspect other than training, he doesn't know a ton. He's a more old school guy. But for one, when we started prep, and this is at like 12 weeks out, he wanted me to only drink distilled water for the entire prep. So like every bit of water I drank throughout the day had to be distilled. I, boil my chicken in distilled water, that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
And then when the show came, I did Diazide for the entire week prior to the show.
Oh my God.
No, I actually did. It was called Aldactazide. It was Aldacto Diazide combo.
Yeah, I know that.
I ran that from like 7 days out.
Holy fuck.
And like, obviously, I mean, that in combination with distilled water. My cramping was like you've never experienced in your life.
Did you even get a pump? Did you get a pump?
Oh my God, I didn't have a pump from 12 weeks out.
What about you, James? You got anything?
Oh, no, it's just funny because you say that because the distilled water thing, that was something that like a lot of the old school guys over here used to force on us. Only distilled water.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I haven't really had any mad super bad experiences, if I'm honest. It's usually dumb shit I do myself. So really, I don't know. No,
What's the dumbest thing you've decided to take upon yourself that you've done?
So before we did Big Man Show 2018, I was like really sure that I was really like flat.
Yeah.
So this is just
flat.
That's the number one enemy of any bodybuilder.
I'll tell you why I wasn't flat. I lost my mind the day before, and I literally, I went out and I ordered food all day, all day, and I literally, do you know what? I took 3 layers of insulin with every single meal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try something. This is me. I did my own thing, and literally, I did that all day through. And as Ian knows, I came on stage with him the next day, and I certainly wasn't flat. No. But
how much did you weigh that show? You must have been 265 at that show.
I think I was 270.
Yeah.
I was so full of shit. But and that's me admitting now, I lost my mind because it was my debut. I don't know. I just went all fucking spazzy.
Oh, of course.
Listen, man, that's happened to me like probably 5 times in my career, and it wasn't just my first show. Like over and over, because the enemy of all bodybuilders is I think I'm flat.
Yeah.
It's the enemy of, and that's why people are like, why do you have a coach? I'm like, that's why I have a coach.
Yeah. Because
your brain starts to fuck with you. And then you're like, I need more carbs. And you end up the next day looking watery and shitty. So, is it better to take a pre-workout mixed with water or dry scoop? I had to ask this. I see everybody dry scooping. I want to know what you guys think.
Is that some kind of fucking fad right now? I think it's just a thing because it's easier to like, if you're doing like an Instagram promo to just like scoop in your mouth instead of like shake it and drink it. It doesn't look quite as cool. So I think that's just a fucking fad. I mean,
Ian, it's the one they keep doing. It's this one, Ian. When they do that and then it goes.
Yeah, but it's
it's a fucking TikTok.
But it's okay. But scientifically, it makes no sense, right? We want the water.
You need the fluid.
You want to mix some water.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I mean, imagine if people were taking their fucking whey isolate and dumping it in their mouth like that, or their brand cyclic dextrin.
That's how dry your mouth would go.
I used to do that.
75 grams of Vitargo in their mouth,
I used to do that.
Why?
Dude, when I used to, because I'm special. No, man, I would be so fucking hungry And
so you'd eat the protein. Yeah. Okay.
I would eat the protein. Like I would, let's say Chad would be like, you have 75 grams away at the end of the night with a tablespoon of peanut butter.
Sure.
I would put 2 scoops in a bowl and make like a protein pudding.
Yeah.
And I would take the 3rd scoop and I would eat it because it takes a minute to eat. And that's how hungry I was, that just that little bit of satisfaction.
You and Melissa are so the same with this fucking food shit, man. The weird stuff I've seen her do, like making fucking like mug cakes and fucking protein.
I've done that.
Like every little random fucking Reddit concoction she can think of, I've seen her make, you know?
Yeah, she's smart.
Anything to fucking stretch out the meal.
That's right. You know,
you'd add water to egg whites just to make it.
You know what I did? You know what I used to do? I used to get a cookie sheet, like a big cookie sheet, right? I'd put aluminum foil on it and spray it with Pam, and I'd make a protein pudding, and then I would pour the pudding on the cookie sheet and spread it out, and then I'd put it in the oven, and it would come out, and it only took like 3 minutes, and it would come out like a layer of cookie.
Yeah.
And you'd snap off a piece and eat it, kind of like a peanut brittle.
Yeah, like bar.
When you did that, were they some of your best competitive years or not?
Yeah. Well, no, I won't say that, but it was some of I used to get, because Chad used to fucking
conditioning wise.
Yeah, Chad used to peel the calories down hard, so I would be starving. Like, I would get home because we used to do a second cardio at night before my last meal. Yeah. I still remember being on a step mill, and like after say 6 minutes, I would start to feel the cold sweats.
Yeah.
And I would start going hypo, and I would look at the time, and I'm like, I got 39 fucking minutes left, and I would just be like shivering by the time I was done, and I would get home and try and make this concoction out of fucking protein powder.
That's when you know you're hypo. That's when you know, when you start this.
It was so bad, man. It was so fucking bad. Have you ever been in a physical fight past the age of 25? If so, why? And I guess I'll start with you, James, since you're the brawler.
I don't think I have, honestly.
Really?
I think I stopped fighting when I was like 20. I've been real chill.
Cut it out?
Yeah. I ain't got time for that shit.
What about you, Ian?
I haven't since high school. I mean, I wouldn't consider this a brawler fight or anything. I mean, a couple of years back, we were out at just like a local bar with some friends, and one of my buddies was talking. And you know when you're at a bar and it's loud, when you talk to a girl, you're like right up in your ear, like 2 inches from her ear. So my buddy was talking to this girl that one of my other friends was sleeping with at the time. And he was drunk, and he's a kind of an aggressive guy. And he saw him, and he thought they were like kissing up on each other.
Oh, okay.
So I saw like he was to my left, and then they were over on my other side. And I saw him start to go for them. And I was like, fuck my life. Because I mean, this is my buddy Dylan, who was the best man at my wedding. The best guy ever, but he my other buddy would have fucking piled him into the ground, you know?
Yeah.
And I saw him go for it. And I just like saw the fist come back, and he was just going to blindside him from the back, you know?
Yeah.
So I just grabbed him from behind, and he didn't know who'd grabbed him. So he's like bucking me like a fucking bronco, you know? So I kind of like got into a tussle, but I mean, no, it wasn't too bad. I mean, that was the only like kind of thing like that. Yeah. You know, and I've had like random guys like, you know, when Melissa and I started dating, you know, be fucking rude to her at bars and stuff. But I mean, it's never progressed into anything too bad. And even then, I guess I would have been like 21, 22. So
I got into one, I think I might have been 32, 33. I went to a Detroit Red Wings hockey game with my brothers, my 3 brothers and my brother-in-law. And this is why I don't go anywhere, okay? Because when you're big, trouble just fucking finds you.
Yeah.
So we're in like the bar area of the stadium or of the arena, and someone throws like a peanut shell at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is? So I just leave it, right? I'm like, maybe it was an accident, whatever. I leave it. While that's happening, I look over to my left, and my brother is like, I can see. I bounced for a long time, so I can kind of see when something's happening. So like I could see them starting to like jaw at each other. So I'm like, I nudge my brother-in-law. I'm like, something's going on over there. So I walk over. As I'm walking over, all I see is my brother cock back and he fucking hits him with a smack. Guy goes down. His buddy goes to jump in. So I grabbed him from behind and kind of put him in a choke. And that's all that happened. We didn't end up fighting. And then as I'm walking out, I see the guy with the peanuts. And I'm like, you're throwing the fucking peanuts. He's like, I didn't do anything. He just like backs up completely. So nothing serious, just like a choke. Yeah. And that was it. But to be like in a full fist fight, I don't think past the age of 25 I've been in a full fist fight.
No. The last one I was I was probably like 19, 18.
Yeah. It doesn't really, it's not easy to do. I remember bouncing I bounced until I was like 26, 25, 26. It's hard to fucking fight when you're 300 pounds, man.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's like you gas out really fucking quick.
It's got to be over quick or you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you gotta one punch the guy or you're fucking it's done.
I had a fight when I was younger and I was quite heavy with a guy that he was kind of a mate of mine, and he was a boxer and he was fucking tough.
Yeah.
And I remember like being heavy at the time, and he caught me on the chin with the first punch.
Yeah.
And I was so dizzy. So all I did was literally I just put all my weight into him, and I literally just fell on top of him and held him on the floor. And I just didn't move. I just held him still.
Yeah.
That was all I could do. But then what else can you do when you're a fat fuck? There's nothing else, is there?
Gassing out is a real thing, man.
My jaw was like, oh, and I was like, fuck this.
As a police officer, I work 12-hour shifts with 3-4 days off a week. Would it be more beneficial for me to double up on my days I don't work, or just once? It becomes difficult getting in all the muscle groups worked within 7 days. And this is also thoughts on 2 leg days for lifting a week.
I'm not mad on that double. I don't think training twice a day is optimal, but that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have 7 days away. He said he works, what, 3?
He works 3 or 4. He has 3 or 4 days off a week.
So, I mean, you can easily do a full body in 3 or 4 days. I mean, fucking do push-pull legs. I mean, you're hitting the whole body once in a week. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah, if you did
if you want to do a second leg day, you want to do a second leg day at the other end of the week, you could do that. You can do legs, push-pull legs. I mean, no problem.
Yeah. I would do back, chest, shoulders, legs, and arms.
Yeah, there you go.
That's your 4-day split. Yeah. Have you ever cheated deep into your prep and still managed to get away with it? You guys haven't cheated in your preps, have you? Well, you carb load cheated.
Who? Oh, James. Yeah.
James. Yeah. James. Ian, I assume you haven't cheated at all on your prep ever.
He's never.
What's that? Ian?
I've never cheated on a prep ever. No.
Ever? Nothing. Not an extra tablespoon of peanut butter. Nothing.
If I have, it's not any time since I've been a pro, or even like in my first couple like open. If I did, it was as a junior, and I can't recall. But no, I don't believe I have. No.
James?
I just wanted to, and this is why, folks, he wins shows. Don't fuck about. No, honestly, that's the only time I've fucked up. Now was just once, and I think that's the pressure of being a debut.
Let's hear your answer, Fouad.
Hey, okay, time out. During this, I don't fucking cheat at all during my prep.
I'm fucking kidding.
Unless I'm allowed to. And then, no, but I've done the carb fuck up a bunch of times. So if that counts for cheating, but that's, to me, it's more psychological. And I remember me and you, Ian, I've said to you before, don't get caught in your head too much, because that's what happened to me. And I know you don't do it with food, but I would get stuck in my head. I'd be like, I don't look right. Maybe I need more food, maybe more this. And I would end up eating more than my coach told me to. Mm-hmm. Not because I wanted to cheat because I needed the food, more because I was just paranoid about the show.
Yeah.
The only time I've actually cheated during a diet is probably I think my first show, it was like 3 weeks out, and I drank a bottle of tomato juice. I was craving pasta, and I thought it would make up for it.
Why didn't you eat like a couple spoonfuls of fucking marinara?
I was craving pasta, and I'm like, I thought tomato sauce, same shit, and I just whatever. Anyway, but no, I don't think I don't know anybody who cheats on their diet.
Melissa and Chris both cheat on their diet, 100%.
Do they really?
Oh, fucking right they do. They don't tell me, though, because they're like, they conspire together against me with their cheating, you know? It's like, I'm like the fucking big bad wolf, and it's like, you can't tell Ian. So they go off and do it like, it's like, Ian's at the gym, let's go get fucking 5 Guys. It's like, you know.
They don't. Really?
Yeah, they do some, maybe not 5 Guys, but I mean, they'll do some fucking sneaky shit, you know? Like, they're like, you know, Quest bar eaters and fucking, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the Quest bar eaters. Fuck me. Yeah. I've seen the amount of times I've had to stop people in the gym. Like, they're prepping, they're like 3 weeks out or something, and I see them say, can I have a protein bar? And I'm like, fucking hell, like, is that even in your diet? And they're like, no, but it's a Quest bar.
Do you guys crave the protein? Okay, side question. Do you guys crave the protein bars after you're done the show?
No.
I don't.
For some reason, I get diet pop and protein bars.
Are you talking immediately post-show or like within the weeks after?
Within the weeks, because usually what would happen is, let's say I was sponsored by Muscle Tech at the time.
Sure.
They used to have the Nitrotech bars, and they would be sending me boxes of it while I was dieting.
Yeah.
So after the show, and I don't mean immediately after the show, but in the weeks after the show, I'd go through all those boxes of protein bars.
No, I've never really done that.
No? You guys don't get that?
I mean, the first show I ever did, the week after the show, I ate 4 meals a day of Burger King and McDonald's exclusively. I didn't eat one, I literally, not even exaggerating, I didn't eat one clean meal. I would wake up, I worked at Popeyes at the time. I was young. I would have been 19 or 20. Yeah. I would wake up and I would work usually like 11 to 7. I'd wake up, I'd go get like McDonald's or Tim Hortons breakfast sandwiches. I'd get to work, and then we worked pretty close to a Five Guys.
Yeah.
And there was also a Burger King and McDonald's right down the road as well. So I'd get one of those 3 for lunch, and then when I'd leave work, I'd get something else, and then like later in the night, I'd go have like a whatever.
That sounds amazing.
And then also some days, because I lived right down the street from a Cora, so I would get up a little earlier, and I would go eat breakfast by myself at Cora's probably 3 days a week.
Cora's is an awesome breakfast place here in Canada, if you guys didn't know.
Surely all your money at that age was going on the food.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
19 years old, like 4 or 5 takeouts a day.
That sounds like a great diet. Fuck.
I mean, I had the edema in my ankles and stuff like you've never seen. Like
I had that too. My first show.
I made Chris's autoimmune look like pussy shit. Like I could have put my thumb in my ankle all the way up to the fucking second knuckle, and it would just stay there all day. Like my face was inflamed. Like I looked so fucked.
Okay, but the most important question is Big Mac or Whopper?
I'm a Big Mac guy. I mean, I love Whoppers, but I would go for a Big Mac over a Whopper.
Whopper, this is how I break it down. Whopper is good once. Big Mac is good for frequency, because if you eat a Whopper like a few times, you start to feel like it's.
Well, and the thing is too, I don't know if it's just my Burger Kings that are in Ottawa, but they're wildly inconsistent. Like I'll go sometimes and have a Whopper, and I'll be like, "This is the best burger I've had at fast food in a long time." And the next time I'll go, I'm like, "This is fucking inedible," you know. Where I've had inedible Big Macs like twice, you know.
Yeah, Burger King is far less consistent, I have to say.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the first extravagant thing you bought when you started making some money as a bodybuilder, and what did it mean to you?
Making money.
Yeah, but what was the first?
Where's this money?
It was making money.
I mean, I think it's all going to be for us, like for you, probably cars, right? Or I mean, the first thing I bought was a house. I mean, when I started making money, I bought a home.
Same.
Yeah. Well, I would say the first time I felt excited to have some money to buy something, it was my first good, because I had a bunch of shitty cars, and then I bought like a Mustang GT, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is probably I bought a condo on the water, and I was like, not that that's expensive here in Windsor. It was fucking cheap. It was a bank foreclosure, but probably my car, and then my condo.
Yeah.
James?
I'm like Ian, house, straight for the house, man.
Yeah. You guys don't have the car thing, eh?
I don't feel. Most days I think to myself, I get in my little Ford Focus, not Fiesta.
Yeah.
I sit in it, and she hasn't changed the seat, and I get in it, I feel fucking claustrophobic, because you know when women don't put the seat back.
Yeah.
I get in and I think I need a fucking new car, something bigger. But then the minute I put the seat back into its normal position, I'm like, it'll do. But I haven't given in. But I would love a truck, but I'm in England.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not a car guy. Like, do I always enjoy having a nice vehicle? But like, I wouldn't say I'm a guy that can sit there and talk fucking car specs and like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, but wait a minute. So, James, first of all, I can't see you in a Ford Focus. You're fucking way too big. You need to get a bigger car. That's first.
That's the thing. Now you're saying that, I feel like I'm obliged to.
You have to. You're fucking 300 pounds. I had a Ford Focus, but I was 20 years old when I had a Focus. It was like I fit in the car. I couldn't fucking drive that now.
All right.
What are you driving? What are you driving, Ian?
I have a Stinger.
The Stinger. Oh, the Hyundai Stinger.
The Kia Stinger, yeah.
Or the Kia.
I have a truck. So you've seen my Tacoma, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I had that tan new Tacoma, and then I had an S4 Audi.
Yeah.
And I just sold the S4, and I bought the Stinger.
Aren't those two?
I don't know what Stinger is.
No, the fucking Stinger's huge, man. It's like the size of a Panamera. It's gigantic.
It's not the size of a Panamera. Come on.
Yeah, Stinger, I'll buy one.
100% it is. Like the Porsche sedan, it's literally the exact same size.
All right, let's see here. I got to show James.
Yeah, because if I feel like I've got little dick right now.
That's mine. Go down. No, I have the exact white one there, bottom left.
This one?
Bottom left.
That looks like a. It's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's massive, yeah.
It's not massive.
I mean, compared to I'm here with Julian, and he has a 300 Mercedes, and it's considerably bigger inside mine than that.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a Kia?
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Eh?
Mate, I had a Kia Picanto.
Yeah.
These
things have a twin turbo V6 in them. It's like fucking 400 horsepower.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, do you know what Kia Picanto is?
What's it? How do you spell it?
If you just go Kia and then write P after it, it's going to come up. I'll show you what I had.
That's a European vehicle. I've heard of them, but yeah, no, look it up. I want to see it.
Yeah, this is what you got, and this is what I had.
Spell it for me, James.
So just write Kia, K-I-A.
It's not coming up.
Yeah, and then in space and P.
Oh, Picanto. Kia Picanto?
Yeah. That's what I had. Smashed it.
Let's see this.
Oh my God, James. Oh my God, James. It's like did you have a cool one like this at least, or was it like
I had a little red one and I smashed it at a roundabout? Yeah,
James,
there you go.
I can't picture you driving this fucking thing.
Fuck.
My first car ever was a Dodge Neon, and I fell asleep with a wheel and fucking totaled that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I hit a guy, stopped at a traffic light, and I was in cruise control going 80.
No. Holy shit.
Close call.
Stopped at a light, and I just bulldozed them. Yeah.
I've totaled 3 cars in my life. Yeah. I've totaled 3 cars in my life, like write-offs.
That was the only one I wrote off. And then I've had like other like dingers, but none have been written off.
You guys got to see this. This is my first car. You guys got to see this fucking winner. This fucking bad boy. Oh, yeah. This is exactly my car.
Fucking stellar. There you go.
It's a Hyundai Stellar. I bought it for $1.
One.
The guy was like, "Get it off my property." So it's like, okay. So
and it ran fine.
I had to. I changed the transmission, and then it ran fine. I got like 2 years out of it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. This is where it all started. This fucking thing.
I still like the shape of the old cars.
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You like it looked like a first gen Audi or something, like that square ass, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. All right. Chicken or beef, what would you choose for the rest of your life? This is kind of obvious, I hope.
You're going to say beef.
Of course I'm going to say beef. I don't eat chicken for the rest of my life. I hate eating chicken now.
I mean, if I had to eat for the rest of my life for flavor-wise, I'd probably say beef, but...
Well, even for nutrition, though.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You're not going to eat chicken. There's nothing in chicken.
Yeah, well, nobody fucking likes chicken. Come on, but...
No, but I mean, even like nutrition-wise, it's like compared to beef.
Yeah, I guess,
Do you like a chicken thigh?
Oh, chicken thighs are good. Yeah, he didn't specify what part of the chicken.
That's what I'm saying.
Chicken wings for the rest of your life? Drumsticks?
Oh, that's true.
KFC for the rest of my life?
Oh, wait a minute. Now we're talking about a whole chicken. It's a little different.
Yeah,
I could eat whole roast chickens every day for sure.
Yeah, you could do chicken wings one day. You could do thighs the next on a barbecue.
Yeah. It's not a linear question.
That's fucked up. You just ruined the whole question for me, James.
Good.
I was certain.
Also, there's that kind of variety with beef too. I mean, you could get burgers.
Burgers or steak. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do like beef tacos with the ground beef. Like you could do lots of shit.
Yeah, but you could do chicken tacos.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I guess you do get a bit more variety with chicken. There's more parts, but
chicken as well though. You can have skin on or skin off.
That's true. I mean,
but with the beef,
leave the skin on, but that might be very fucking inedible.
But if you have a steak, if you have like a New York, you can keep the fat cap on the outside of it.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking delicious.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I think I'd go steak. I love fucking red meat too much.
I'm going chicken. I'm going to break the mold.
Really? After all the chicken you've eaten in bodybuilding, you'd still go chicken?
because if it's thighs, I'd be fine. Thighs, I can literally fucking swallow.
I think I have to go chicken too, man. Yeah.
Barbecue chicken thighs are awesome.
Yeah.
They're like my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go the rest of my life without eating a steak, though, or a burger. You have to eat chicken burgers. It sucks.
But remember, the thing with beef, when beef is cold, it just doesn't compare either.
No, you can't eat. No, because you can have chicken on a salad and it could be cold and it would be great.
It's still nice.
Yeah, you can have beef on a salad, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
You almost have me convinced, James.
That's what I'm here to do, man.
I still can't give up my beef, but Luke said he would suck a dick for beef.
Really?
I know he did.
He didn't
really like beef that much. I'm not the kind of guy, like, if someone was like, you could have a cheat meal, it's like, I would never go have a fucking like steak and potatoes ever. I would never even contemplate that.
What would your ultimate cheat meal be?
Man, you're asking like the least fucking foodie person ever.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, I don't care about this.
Like, you're like asking a eunuch which like hooker he'd like to fuck.
No. I'm not asking what specific food. I'm saying if it's not steak and potato, is it like ice cream or is it like Is it junk food? Is it carbs? Like, what is it?
Yeah, no, I'm not a junk food person. I mean, yeah, I would probably go. I fucking love good seafood for sure.
Okay.
Like if I could go to like a really good seafood restaurant, get some like lobster, shit like that, scallops, mussels. Like I love stuff like that.
So you're like a very like elitist cheat meal type of person.
Posh.
Very posh. Very posh.
Yeah, I mean, but sure, I can say fucking fish tacos. I mean, I don't have to be elite. It's just I like stuff like that. I like. I mean, I find it lighter. It's easier to eat.
Yeah.
I like those flavors.
When you're having a cheat meal, are you mindful of your nutrition or your stomach or any of that, or are you just like, I want to have what I want to have?
To an extent. I mean, I couldn't have a cheat meal that has like no protein. Like that's my biggest thing with pizza. I can't fucking have pizza as a cheat meal.
Tons of protein in pizza.
But it doesn't
all the
like
cheese.
It doesn't feel like it to me. It's like, even if you have like a meat lover's pizza, it's like,
I know.
It's not really fucking meat. You know what I mean? It's like that for me, I can't really get past mentally. And like, I would never just have like a cheat meal where I go eat like candy and ice cream and shit like that. Or,
I've done that.
I'd have to have some kind of decent protein source. Like I could go have a burger and fries and then go mash a bunch of ice cream or cheesecake or carrot cake.
But you can't have just the ice cream.
No.
Or like the junk food.
No.
What about you, James? Are you the same way? You have like some type of...
When I was younger and I used to do my own cheat meals, it was usually just super high carb. Yeah. So I used to literally like only have like really high carbs. I don't know if it was... I never followed skip, but a skip load kind of thing. Yeah. When I used to talk about it, Luke and Ben used to say it was kind of what he does.
Yeah.
But no, to be fair, I like to have high protein when I usually go for like a kebab or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So I like kebab and chips, some shit like that.
For me, it's a little different. Like in the off season, if I'm doing I do two cheat meals a week usually.
Yeah.
The one on like Wednesday would be cleaner. Like I would do something like you guys are talking about, something with some protein in it, something that's going to be beneficial. But if I'm doing like the Saturday night cheat, I just have whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. If I want to get pizza, I'm going to get pizza. If I just want to eat 8 chocolate bars, I'm just going to eat 8 chocolate bars.
I got a question for both of you guys too. So say you were working with the coach and they said, have a date today, eat whatever the fuck you want. Would you go buck wild or would you eat nothing?
I already have the answer for you.
You go buck wild.
Dude, Chad used to do these carb cycles, but they weren't really carb cycles. He would just kill me all week long. And then Sunday would roll around and he would be like, take the day off. And the first time he said it, I'm like, you want me to take the day off? Like off. He's like, today is your day. Eat whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I drove straight to Tim Hortons and I got a dozen donuts and that was my first meal. And the rest of the day was just following suit.
That's hard because you were obviously super hungry and dieted. So like, you're.
If I'm in the off season and I have, no, because it's like I have to be really fucking hungry to do like that crazy shit, right?
I asked this because I was just having this conversation with Julian the other day. Patrick, one time before we started prep, he was just like, have one day, eat whatever you want, as much as you want, as little as you want. I literally ate like maybe 500 calories that day.
Yeah.
I woke up, I didn't eat my first meal till probably 2 p.m. and I had like a half a bowl of soup and like half a grilled cheese sandwich at like this little local place. I didn't even finish it. Like it was a girl-sized meal. I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I had McDonald's at like 10 p.m. And I just had 2 double cheeseburgers and a McFlurry. And then I don't think I ate again. That was all I had.
You actually kind of look forward to giving yourself a little bit of a break from eating.
I was just going to say that.
I mean, if I'd been mentally stronger, I would have preferred to eat nothing that entire day. I couldn't get past the eating nothing. I was like, I'll literally be 165 tomorrow morning if I don't,
I was just going to say, because Ian's like, you're right. Because you said it's because I was starving. But man, if I was eating like you guys are eating, I wouldn't wake up and want, because I know when I'm eating like a lot of food in the off season, there's no fucking way. My cravings go way down. I don't really want anything. And like James said, I'd rather just not even eat. Like take that day off and just
that's why I asked.
Yeah. No, I think it's
I had a similar thing.
Go ahead, James.
I had a similar thing the other day as well, because obviously I started prep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Patrick was like thinking, oh, maybe you should take the missus out for a meal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't even ask her. I just replied, saying, nah, she's okay. Don't worry about it.
Why? Take the fucking day. What's going to happen?
Because I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it.
Maybe she needs it.
Fuck her, man.
Whatever the fuck she wants. If she wants to go eat right now, she could go eat. I mean,
but maybe she wants to go.
She knows the rules.
See, listen, I think that shit. I think about that shit all the time. See, to you guys watching, don't listen to these two fucking guys. You have to. Well, maybe. Well, I don't know how Ian. I'm sure Ian takes his girl out, but You have to. I always make that when I have a cheat meal. That's why me and Patrick were doing the podcast together. I said, "Don't you think it's important to give somebody one meal a week to do?" And he was like, "Fuck that." But I think it is important because if the person's married or he's in a relationship or whatever, it gives that person a time to go out. And it doesn't have to be crap. I can go to dinner with my wife and have like a steak and some pasta, and it's like it's still going to be beneficial for me.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think Patrick would be against that.
No,
he was.
How much time during the day does your wife, like, are you both home all day together? Does she go to work during the day? Like, what's your dynamic time of like time together?
No, we work from home. We're together all the time.
Okay. Yeah. See, for me, it's like with Melissa, I mean, until recent when she didn't work, I mean, we were home together all day. It's like, if we want to go do stuff, we would go out and do errands together. If we want to, go fucking whatever,
But to me,
we would still go to the movies, like if that would be the thing. If it was like, you want to go out and have a meal, like we would go to the movies and she can get all the candy she wants and I'll sit there and that doesn't bother me at all. She can get what she wants. We can get, we can even go get a meal before. Like, I don't give a shit, but I won't eat,
Yeah.
And we can still go out and do something enjoyable together. I just won't partake at the same level.
See, that's the difference. I think that's the difference between me and my wife and you and Melissa is I can't, like, if she's like, I want to go for a meal before the movies, I'm not like, I'm going to go sit there and watch you eat. Like, I can't.
I'm not bothered by that at all.
No, it's not even just me. Like, she won't enjoy herself either.
Okay, yeah.
Because she's like, I want to do it with you, right?
Oh, yes. So, at the end of the day, it comes down to how you both feel, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, because it's like, look, you're married to this person. We've been together for 13 years. I can't be like, fuck you. I don't care how you feel. So that was actually how I posed it to Patrick. And he was like, no, I don't care. Yeah. It's like, too bad.
He's like, sorry, son.
Okay. So that went from chicken and beef. We got all the way into marriage and cheat meals.
Yep.
All right. I need sex advice. I keep getting, that's not me, by the way. That's what this guy's saying.
Oh, sure.
I need sex advice. I keep getting excruciating hamstring pumps.
I saw this question. I was reading this comment. I fucking laughed. Hamstring pumps. Yeah, I saw this.
He's like, I get excruciating hamstring pumps when I hit it from any position. It can't be a nutrition thing because I'm on top of that.
Okay, wait. So if he's laying on his back and she's on top and your legs are completely straight, how are you getting a fucking hamstring pump?
Maybe he's pulling his heels and he's trying to help. So he's like,
okay, but then fucking chill out, man. Just lay there flat like a fucking,
relax.
Just stop getting hamstring. Or if you're getting hamstring pumps, I mean, like, what is he involving so much hamstring in?
I get hamstring pumps all the time. I swear to God. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I get hamstring cramps.
I get cramps. Sure, I've had cramps. I'll get hips. I get them in my hips or my abs.
Yeah,
but I never pumps.
I got a hamstring cramp. I don't know. Maybe he means cramp because there's nothing.
Okay, sure, cramp.
Because he's saying excruciating. So I'm assuming he's meaning excruciating hamstring cramp, not pump. But I get them too. I don't know. Is that weird?
No, cramp. If it's a cramp, that's not weird. No.
Okay. What about you, James? I know your girlfriend's sitting there, so I don't know.
I can't even last 30 pumps, so I don't know what the fuck to do. Listen, don't ask me about sex. Fuck me, I'm useless.
You just lay there. You're like, I'm just gonna lay down. It's
not even that. It's just that it's over and done with in a matter of.
This missionary style, get her done, in and out. That's it.
No, listen, and it takes me a week to recharge.
It takes you a week to recharge. What the fuck?
1 week. I'm done, and then I'm tired for a week.
Jesus. Is that always like that, or just because you're older now?
Patrick really doesn't have you on much drugs, does he?
Apparently not.
No, but I've been like this for ages. I'm just like, I take a long time to recharge. I'm just not really, I don't know.
Like a fucking sexual camel.
Are you someone like you're not someone that obviously like jerks off a lot? Then if you're fucking.
Oh no! Listen, when I was younger, I used to fucking. When I was younger, I used to fucking wank all the time, time.
All right.
Started bodybuilding. Don't anymore.
No, started bodybuilding and taking tests and stuff, and now I'm like, I can take it or leave it.
Really?
Don't know why.
How often are you wanking now? How often are you wanking now?
Fuck all. I never wank. Can't be asked.
I go in spurts where like I get so like I want to fuck Melissa 30 times a day, and then there'll be points and preps where I'm like, yeah, like I could care less about having sex. So it goes in waves. But
I will say this: Yannicka changed her hair today.
Yeah. Okay.
And I looked at her and I thought, you know what, you might get some later.
You sound like my fucking grandfather.
Is she the one pursuing you?
No, listen, like, no, she doesn't really. She does pursue me sometimes, and then I just fall asleep.
Dude, I'm chasing my fucking wife around the fucking house, man.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do, but it's always like really inconvenient times because I've got this thing. The only time I get horny is when we're due to go out.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this thing like if we got to be somewhere in 5 minutes, I really want it.
Why?
But then that's it. I don't know because I like the tight time frame.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can't.
The hardest thing for me is Melissa and I operate on such different schedules sleep-wise. I go to bed at 4 a.m., 3:30, 4 a.m. Melissa goes to bed at like 9 p.m., you know?
Yeah.
I have an entire day after she goes to bed.
Then you got to go to bed and wake her up, and sometimes
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what I do now is, most days is I'll like, when she goes to bed, I get into bed with her and like, we'll watch Netflix, whatever, we have sex, whatever. And then when she falls asleep, then I leave.
That's a good idea too, yeah.
That is what I do. That's good. I like that.
I can't get over I don't jerk off or bang.
I don't know why. I just, very rarely.
So how often in a month do you say you guys are having sex right now?
Oh, once a week at least.
Okay, that's not terrible.
I'm not the worst, but do you know what? My head's so fucking bent and twisted. Like, I'm too in-depth watching weird shit on telly and stuff to even fucking think about reality. Yeah. Like, I'm an odd person. If you guys ever come to England, you'll see. I'm just a bit odd. And I think I'm just too occupied with bullshit to focus on what's around me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
It's such a primal urge. I don't understand how anything could interrupt it.
I know. And the thing is, when it used to get me when I was younger, literally, it would lead me into all places. I'd be out at like 2 a.m, like walking the streets, hoping to bump into some stranger.
Oh
like,
my God.
That she'd comply. But now I'm like, not even like that at all. I don't know.
Huh.
Really weird. It is odd. And I'm only 31. Fuck me.
So what are we telling this guy about his hamstring cramps? Do we have any?
Was that the fucking question?
What are we?
He's actually here. I'm talking about. I'm not like a really randy person these days, am I? No. Is it a bad thing?
I find it something. If men is fixated about sex, I think there's something wrong.
Maybe it's because of how she is. Because she thinks.
Wait a minute. I want to know what she said. Can you tell her?
Wait. Let me turn my volume up.
Tell her to come into the.
What did you just say?
Say it louder.
Go on.
If men are obsessed with sex, I think there's something wrong with them.
Oh shit!
That's maybe I'm that person for me.
My wife says that to me all the time.
Oh yeah. I try and pursue fuck Melissa so much that she'll joke with me and say that you don't even want to fuck me, you just want to fuck. You know?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
She's like, you don't even care for me, you just want to fuck something. I'm like, well, no, but yes, you know. Yeah. Like, no, but I love you and you're here. You
That's what I say. Fuck. See? Yeah. All right, James, you're the odd man out, buddy.
But like I said, she's changed her hair today and it's got me a little bit freaky.
All right. Well, do something.
Maybe
do something after the podcast.
Yeah, I'll update you boys in the morning.
What is your favorite exercise or least favorite exercise?
Wait, we didn't even answer the guy's fucking question.
Oh yeah, what are we gonna do with this guy's hamstring cramp?
I'll take some fucking quinine sulfate before you
bang with your Viagra.
You need some cranberry extract.
Yeah.
What's cranberry extract gonna do?
It'll help.
No, just tell him to chug a liter of fucking coconut water or something. He's good. You're good.
Yeah. All right, there we go. That's the answer. I can't give the answer because I get the same problem. I have the same fucking hamstring.
Are you a high sodium guy in your diet? Do you salt your food really heavily?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. All right, back to bodybuilding. Favorite exercise, least favorite exercise. We'll go fast.
James.
Favorite exercise. Favorite exercise is probably squat.
Yeah.
Not that I love it now because it seems to beat me up. And least favorite. Fuck.
My least favorite is probably anything with arms.
I would agree. I hate training arms.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat's destroying my bedroom. Sorry.
It's okay.
My cat just fuck off.
I mean, does anyone here like training abs?
Oh well, I don't even count that as an exercise.
Yeah.
It doesn't even count.
Yeah.
No, but really, realistically, boys, what is actually a really fucking boring exercise? Like, really, what when you do you think, fuck me, am I even here?
Really fucking boring.
Well, it's not about boring. I just like.
No, it's dislike. Yeah.
I don't know, man. You know what? Anything can be great. If I'm having I don't really like training arms, but if I'm having a really good arm pump, then I like training arms. So it's like, but it's probably the one I could give up. It's probably the one I could give up and be okay with.
I honestly, and I do them because I know they're good. I hate doing bent over rows or like single arm dumbbell rows. That I find like the most taxing, awful exercise ever.
Yeah.
Single arm dumbbell rows is probably my least favorite, even though I know they're very beneficial for me.
Yeah.
My most favorite, and only because I've been getting in a groove with them lately, I've just really been enjoying doing deadlifts. I didn't do them for fucking years. I've been getting back in the groove with them, and I'm really enjoying them. Yeah.
It's weird.
I love deadlifts. mechanically at the minute, it just feels awful. I feel awful.
See, I'm in the opposite, where I've got a little lighter right now. My mechanics feel really good. I feel like that like groove and connection with them, and like my weights feel good, and I'm just like really, really enjoying them.
If we're excluding pain and mechanics and all that shit, deadlifts and squats are probably my two favorite. I just like shit that challenges me, like that at that level, right? It's like you don't get. I like T-bar rows too. T-bars are probably up there too. But yeah, any arm stuff is probably in the least favorite category.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on supplement companies lying on labels, and what do you think the repercussions should be? So we know supplement companies lie on some supplement companies lie on some of their labels. Yeah. So what do we think? What should a penalty be for something like that? You guys think?
What is the penalty right now?
I don't think there is one. I think basically it's just it's customer. You know, you're going to lose your customers when they find out. But there's no actual penalty. I don't think
there's no laws against that or anything.
I don't know if you get a fine. You know what? I haven't really researched that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a fine or something associated with that.
I like that. How you own a supplement company, you don't know.
Well, because I don't plan on fucking lying on my label.
No, but it's just out of like knowledge, like just to know.
Well, I know we have an entire manufacturer's agreement that you know has all of those provisions in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the fine is if those provisions are broken.
Yeah.
So I've never, you know, it's something I never looked into because I never even thought it would be something you would do. So it's, you know what I mean? I never considered it.
Bad. I think it's quite bad, especially like a lot of the supplements we take that are trying to like aid us in our health.
Yeah.
Because like I take all these health supplements every day, and I fucking hope these are doing what they're meant to.
Yeah. You know what one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest repercussions is they're going to recall all your shit.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, if you just spent $100,000 on a runner product and somebody finds out, they're going to recall whatever's left over. So if you have $80,000 still on the shelves, it's all going down the shitter.
You don't think most supplement companies are going to find some way to unload that either way, though?
I don't think you can, man. If there's a lawsuit and you're mandated to recall all your product,
but are you going to recall it and now have it in your possession?
Mm.
Because like I know if you're a big sub company and they recall a bunch of pre-workouts, you're going to find some way in some fucking buddy, you know, with some local supplement store, and you're going to unload that to him for, you know, half the margin. You're going to get that dumped out.
Yeah, but then I think there's huge fines associated with that.
Yeah, if you get caught,
yeah. But I mean, there's batch numbers for everything, right? So if you send out a product and it's been recalled and then that's found again being out, like you resold it to somebody else, I think you're fucked. Like I shouldn't speak. Like I got to find out I actually do want to find out what the penalties are now, but I know it's not the biggest penalty I know of right now is a recall, which is, you know, if you're spending
it's a big,
$50,000 to $100,000 on a runner product, or some of these companies are spending a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to lose all your money. So
like
I think the biggest thing though is the stain. The public, you know, if the public finds out, then they're like, well,
that is irreparable damage in a lot of cases.
Yeah. I think so.
Out of the four of you lads, which one has the best physique? Well, there's not four of us because Ben couldn't get his internet working. And if we're talking about current physiques,
I don't think it's very hard to answer.
I'll have to give it to Ian. If we're talking about all time, out of the three of us, I
think you still edge out. Yeah,
I still edge everybody out. I think.
What's your best showing? Dallas?
No, not Dallas. I was stringy as fuck. I was barfing the whole day before.
You're fucking hard as nails that show, weren't you?
Yeah, but I was like super stringy. I think either the Flex Pro in 2011 or
you're pretty good in Orlando too.
Orlando was I wasn't super sharp in Orlando, but
you were big.
Yeah, I think Vancouver. Vancouver was a combination of both, but I think the Flex Pro.
That's what year's that?
2011.
11? Yeah.
Here, let's
get up. Sit, mate.
I don't think I can.
What?
I don't think I can get it up. I don't know if I shouldn't say that.
I don't know if you can get it up.
Oops.
Sounding like me.
I don't know what the fuck is going on here. What is this Facebook shit? That's a 2011 look right there.
Yeah.
Can you guys see it?
Wide old shoulders there.
Make it full screen.
I don't know if I.
Yeah, there you go. No, to the right. No, that's the wrong one. That, yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
It's all pixelated and shit now.
Click the wheel there, the wheel beside the full screen.
You'll be able to change the quality.
This?
Yeah, click it. Auto. Oh, no, it's already
It's on auto.
Yeah, the highest is 640p.
Yeah,
I can still tell.
I wonder if I can find photos of. That's it anyway. If you guys want to find it, it's 2011 Flex Pro. You can probably find it on YouTube, but that's probably the best combination of conditioning and size I've had.
What was you there?
How much did you weigh at that show?
I think I was like just around 250. I don't remember if I was 248 or 251, something like that. I think I was somewhere in there.
What's your height, Fouad?
5'9".
Same as me, yeah. Who won this show?
Evan.
Evan won, and Dexter took second.
Yeah.
So
that was a very good Evan, though.
Oh, this is a good. You know what? This is a good lineup shot here.
No, right one.
Why did I fucking? No, that's what I want, isn't it?
You can go bigger. Yeah. Far right. Is this your first time using YouTube?
It's my first time using the internet.
Far right. Full screen. There you go.
Okay, there we go. That's the first call out. If
Holy
it ever.
cow, this guy's got fucking.
That's Dennis Wolf.
Something, yeah.
Dennis Wolf, Evan, and Dexter, and me.
Yeah.
So you beat Dennis here?
Yeah.
That's a good person to beat.
Yeah, he was off though. I'm not gonna lie. Like you can see his glutes are a little saggy. He was.
He never really had super sharp glutes anyway.
No, he came. There was 2 years. I think there was 2 or 3 years where Dennis Wolf, he was using coaches for a little while.
Yeah.
And then at the tail end of that, the coaches weren't really bringing him what he wanted to bring.
You think Evan deserved this win here?
I do. You can't see it necessarily in his video.
I was going to say, looking here, I'm not like super impressed, but
I think I beat Dexter here. I think people, some like more notable people in the audience told me I had second, but he's Dexter Jackson, so they weren't going to give it to me, right?
For what? Evan was really gnarly in the flesh, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can't see how good Evan looked in this video. It's too pixelated.
Yeah.
But he was hard as fucking nails, and he was very complete everywhere. So I had no problem losing to Evan. I do think because Dexter was, even though you can't tell again in the video because it's so pixelated, but Dexter was not his normal self. Like he was off. Remember there was like 2 years where Dexter was like off? Yeah, this was one of them. So anyway, I'm gonna watch this whole thing, but this was probably my best showing, I think.
Yeah, I just remember Evan being really dry.
Evan looked, I think to me, honestly, that's probably Evan's best look.
Yeah. It's his favorite.
What's that?
It's his favorite.
Yeah, no, he looked amazing there. Is shitting 10 times a day normal?
10? No.
3.
Once you start to take it over like 6, you're getting into the realm of abnormal.
What if your digestion's a little bit off, and it's like those little shits, and you shit like 10 times.
Yeah, but like, are you just shitting because you're bored at this point then? Are you just like, you're bored at home, so you're like, maybe I'll go try and take a shit? Like, that's what that seems like, you know? I do that all the time. I'm like, I feel a little something. I could probably go pop out. Like
those are the worst. Those are the worst.
So I just go like pop out like a fucking cat turd, you know? But like, that's not really having to shit 10 times a day. You could probably shit 3 times a day. That'd be 3 times more.
If you waited and let it build up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta let it accumulate there, you know?
What are you saying, James?
It's the little rabbit pellets.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
But I do that with pissing. I always piss, even if I'd only need a tiny bit of the piss.
You piss sitting down?
No. But I mean, I go to piss often.
Hey, I piss sitting down sometimes.
That's where Dylan pisses sitting down. I rip on him all the time.
What'd you say?
But I mean, go on.
What did Ian say?
I said my best friend Dylan pisses sitting down. We all fucking rip on him all the time.
What's his reasoning?
Just because it's like, it's easy. He's like, I just go in there, I like pull up my phone, I sit down, take a pee. Maybe I got a little poop there too, you know, get one out. But
I do it
just easier.
The only time I do that is in the middle of the night. If it's like 4 a.m.
I piss every night.
Because if I
piss all over the fucking walls and shit.
That's why. Yeah, it's just out of sheer like cleanliness. I'll just sit down.
Yeah.
And do my.
This is not to do with the subject, but it kind of is. Pissing with a boner.
Yeah. I mean, you need to get like completely inverted to get some good.
You kind of need to sit down.
Go like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna act it out for us.
That's it. What I do is I completely lock my legs and then rest my hands above the toilet.
So you're
like
tilted.
I'm like angled above it like that. Yeah.
Perfect.
I kind of just like lock out like straight above the toilet.
We might have just saved a few people's lives.
But James, you don't have to worry about it though, because you don't get boners. So you only get boners like
I
once a
get a
week.
lot of boners.
He just has no inclination.
I just walk around with a boner and I don't do nothing with it.
He's just got this 500 horsepower car, but he drives 20.
So wait a minute, I'm even more confused now. So you get boners every day. And you
I get boners often.
You decide not to do anything with them.
No, because when we get boners, we think we want to have sex. When we get boners, James is thinking about something else.
I am. Yeah. I get boners very frequently.
Holy fuck, man. James, you are fucking too much for me, man. All right. I like this question because we kind of talked about it earlier in the podcast. What do you think of Greg Doucette and his methods of not bulking?
I think this is misconstrued as well, though.
It's not. I watched the whole video and it drove me insane because
I mean, I'll be 100%. I worked with Greg, and this is why I stopped working with Greg.
I know you did.
Once I
turned
pro, I knew I needed to be bigger, and I was just like, Greg is not going to be the guy to get me bigger.
Yeah.
So I started working with Dennis James. I mean, I just, whether I was right or wrong or whatever, I mean, obviously my career trajectory has been fine, but yeah, I mean, I just didn't think he was going to make me grow like I needed to.
Well, this is what I'll say about it, because I watched the whole video he did about
I've watched it.
What he calls main gaining.
Yeah.
Which is basically growing without eating too much of a surplus of calories.
He's like 300 to 500 over surplus. Like
which is retarded. It's just not. The reason the video bothers me is he structures the video and the graphic in a way that you're going to gain the same amount of muscle if you eat 300 calories over maintenance or if you eat 3,000 calories over maintenance.
Yeah, no.
And it's going to be the same at the end of the day because you're going to have to lose all the fat. And when you lose the fat, you're going to lose all the muscle.
I mean, things like this look good on paper, but until you've worked with a guy that's the size of any of us and tried to get them bigger, it just doesn't work like that, you know?
Well, the reason is it doesn't look good on paper because on paper it's a lie. You're not going to gain. If you want to put on 10 pounds of muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to gain 10 pounds of muscle in a year eating 300 calories over maintenance.
No, of course.
You can gain the 10 pounds of muscle. And this is where I think Greg is right. Greg is talking to more average people, not necessarily people who want to be on the Olympia stage.
I think Greg's rebuttal to that would be that nobody's really gaining 10 pounds of real muscle in a year.
But that's not true because I can tell you my stage weight.
Oh, I've done it. I know.
Yeah, you've done it. I'm sure James has done it. We've done it. I did it multiple years coming up in the first few years I was training. So that's where the well, I don't want to call it a lie, but that's where the falsehood is in his statement is you're not going to put on the same amount of muscle. You can still put on the 10 pounds, but it's going to take you 5 fucking years versus the guy who does it in 1 year. That's the difference. And we're talking about enhanced athletes, whatever. If you want to talk about natural,
good genetics, enhanced, whatever. Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I just can't. I don't know any bodybuilder with any significant amount of mass that hasn't done a bulking phase. And again, we already described at the beginning of the podcast, bulking doesn't mean getting fat. It means overeating well over what your body's maintenance calories are. Mm-hmm. So you guys we're all kind of in agreement there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know much about the guy, but from what I've seen, I agree entirely with what you two have said on the subject.
Yeah. Okay. What are the best and worst songs you ever posed to?
Oh.
I posed to the Beastie Boys in 2008 at the Dallas Europa. Worst decision I ever made.
What Beastie Boys song?
What You Want.
Oh.
It just didn't. There's a thing people need to understand. If you want to compete, posing to your favorite song might not be everybody else's favorite song, and it might also not fit your physique or style.
Mm-hmm.
So, James, you have one? Ian, do you have one?
No, not really anything that stands out as like that fucking bad. I mean,
what about you, James? Nothing?
Oh God, when I was a junior, I posed at the British finals to Madonna, Die Another Day.
I can't even think of that song. Can we play that
from
song?
the James Bond film.
Oh, is that bad? I feel like people post James Bond music all the time.
Yeah, but it's not a regular James Bond song.
Oh.
This is some funky shit that you can imagine me dressed up in some weird plastic. It's not normal. Like, he's going to find it and you'll hear it's like really funky club.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it though.
Even if you just hear it and you can just give us a response.
Oh,
it's not posing music. I don't know what. It's because I really like the film.
Why does the screen stop sharing?
I can hear it. Wait.
This is what you posted?
You can see it now, can't you, Fouad?
Yeah.
I can't listen to this shit.
Yeah, that's bad.
That was a bad choice, brother.
Yeah, so guys, I've been there. I've done that.
Best song I ever posed to was Heart of Courage. It was like one of those dramatic theme songs. Yeah.
That was
at Orlando.
That was Orlando, yeah.
Yeah.
You did it at the Arnold too. You posted something good like that
3 times. I did it.
Same song?
Same song 3 times.
Yeah, okay, your Arnold I remember distinctly. That was really good.
Oh no. Arnold was
like the most recent Arnold you did.
Yeah, it was a really good song. It was
I love that routine, yeah.
Fuck. I can't remember the name now. It's French. Anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't get one from Ian.
Well, I don't think of one.
I'll think.
He said he didn't have any bad ones.
Well, not even a good one.
I mean, let's be serious. All mine are kind of bad. Like, I don't have any good ones. Like, I'm not a great poser. I don't even fucking like I'm not a big music person. I don't fucking know shit, man. Like, I pose to some like Linkin Park, to some shitty fucking gangster hip hop. Like, you know, I pose to fucking that fucking song that Zasny guy used to use in all his fucking motivational videos.
He had some good ones though.
Android porn or whatever it's called, cratty Android porn. I posted that once. I mean, I've done some fucking random shit, you know.
You don't put a lot of stock in the posing part of bodybuilding.
I mean, I put into hitting my mandatories, and trying to make them as good as I can. I pose, right, especially now. I mean, I pose every single day.
Yeah.
But like, do I spend time on my routines? Like,
well, that's not really what I mean. I guess what I mean is, do you feel the emotional or artsy side of the posing, or are you just doing it strictly for points?
Yeah.
It's more a points thing for you.
No, I don't like feel the like, but okay, it's also hard because I mean, maybe I would feel it more if I knew how to pose better, to like feel that connection between the poses and the music, which I don't think I have that ability, which is no fault other than my own. You know, I think my skills as a poser would need to develop more to really like get into that and like, you know, have good poses to flow and really show emotion through the posing to connect with the music, which I don't have.
Your physique would do well with the same like dramatic kind of music that I pick, because it's that hard, like the strong physique with the hard look.
I think I posted something like that in Spain 2018. I can't quite remember.
Didn't you win that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did some kind of instrumental, you know, like thing like that, like a, you know, like a fucking Gladiator.
It's dramatic theme song,
Dramatic theme song. And it was an okay routine. Like it was, you know, I don't do 5-minute posing routines, but it was okay, you know?
Yeah.
And that was honestly, I did that because I knew it was European judges. They wouldn't want to hear me post a fucking Nelly, you know?
Yeah, they're very different. Very
different. I was told that going into it, so I chose my song accordingly.
Yeah. Greatest bodybuilder who never realized their full potential.
Who never realized. What's that big fucking guy who never competed?
Victor Richards.
I know.
Victor Richards. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, who's that white kid with the brown hair? Trey Brewer.
Oh, Trey Brewer, yeah.
He was.
Yeah, he went off the rails.
He was like amazing.
Trey fucked himself, man.
Yeah.
He got too fat.
You know, that was potential was there, but it was also ruined by him. I mean, you look at someone like Victor Richards, the potential was there and it was all there. He just chose not to compete.
Yeah. He was a freak.
Trey Brewer could have been something special though, man.
Trey could have been good. I had a name at the end of my tongue there. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'll say it later. But
all right.
There was a year where Dorian was at FIBO and Vic Richards was there as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen that. Yeah.
What's that?
At FIBO where they guest post. Yeah.
Oh, that old video. I think I've seen that too. Yeah. Okay. There's a bunch more here, but we won't do 2 more because we've been running long. So, advice on getting over feeling rejected by a woman when she chooses someone else. How to pick the right woman. So this guy wants to know what to do when you've been rejected.
I mean, that's one of these like bullshit thing of like just like time heals all wounds. You know what I mean? Like just don't focus on
it. No, it's not. For me, it's like, find out who she picked. Find out what.
Go fight him and go. Fuck his mom? Like what?
No. Find out why. Find out why she picked that guy and do it better than him.
So what? You're gonna get like back, and you're gonna try and get her, steal her back.
No, I just want to make sure it doesn't happen to me again.
Oh, okay, sure.
So like, if like, for example, like let's say I get dumped because she's like, the girl I'm with is like, you don't have enough money. Well, in that case, it would just be, she'd be a cunt. But
yeah,
let's say it was something that I had control of. Like, let's say she's like, you're fat. I don't want to be with you. You're fat. And she went to be with some guy who's like shredded. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to make sure that doesn't happen to me again. And I wouldn't be fat anymore.
Okay, but in my mind, I would be like, you're just picking shitty fucking women. If you're picking women that care about you being fat versus shredded, I don't want to marry that fucking girl in the first goddamn place.
Okay, you're right. I'm just trying to think of a quick example, but I'm going to be actually honest with you and go back to my first inclination. If I was with a girl and she left because she was like, you don't have anything going on in your life, I'd be like, okay, fuck you, bitch. But then I would make sure I had something going on in my life.
Sure.
So that never happened again.
Okay.
So like, if you're a guy that like works at a coffee shop and you're fucking 45 years old.
Does it take you pussy to fucking realize that you're being a fucking bum in your life? Like,
well, sometimes it takes a wake up call, right? Like let's say for example, this girl is with the guy and he's got some shitty job and he doesn't care to advance his life. And after 3 years, she's like, you're not fucking doing fuck all with your life. I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. That's a wake up call. Go fuck. Maybe I should get a fucking real job and do something.
Sure. Yeah.
I like that. I think this is like the third or second time today where you've kind of mentioned coffee shops. Fucking coffee shops.
Well, I'm thinking of like no offense to anybody out there who works at a coffee shop. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's say you're a grocery bagger. All right, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I guess. Other than the obvious stuff, like, I guess self-improvement within the realm of like not changing who you are and being some bullshit person. Yeah. Self-improvement.
And then he wants to know how to go about picking the right woman.
The right woman picks you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of both partners. I also think this is a very big just learning process from failures and partners and learning yourself and what makes your relationship succeed. I mean, like I've had failed relationships, and from each one of those, I've learned like, hey, I can't put up with someone that does this, or I know if someone's like this, I won't be able to, be happy, or I'm like this, so I need to choose someone that's like this because I'll make them unhappy. I know there needs to be, a balance with those kind of things.
So basically what you're saying is don't try and fit a fucking square into a circle hole.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's what people do, right? They find a girl that they think is what they want, but she doesn't match any of the things that is in that guy's life.
They find the Megan Fox,
and they try and force it, and it never works.
Yeah, they find a Megan Fox, and they try to be a Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
And you can't be that if you're not them.
So basically, my response would be yourself and make sure the person that's with you accepts who you are and doesn't try and change you. A lot of girls will come along and be like, well, why do you have to go to the gym so much? Or why do you have to do this? Or why do you have to eat again? Or like,
I mean, there's also some aspect of that, though, that's going to be growth within the relationship. Like when I think my personal tendencies now versus when Melissa and I first met, I think I've drastically matured in a lot of ways, but I wouldn't have been without I don't want to use the word pressure, but like pressure from Melissa and wanting to make her happy,
Yeah, I agree. No, there's adjusting your behavior to make sure the woman also is happy and you're not just being a selfish cunt.
Yeah.
But then there's somebody who wants you to change everything you love.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that.
The two are vastly different, right?
It takes a certain level of maturity to see that as well, doesn't it? It takes a certain amount of experience and maturity to understand what's too much and what's not too much.
Yeah.
I found, because obviously we've all been in multiple relationships, and those are all kind of just footsteps to to get to the relationship you're in now.
Yeah.
And you learn from those prior ones, and like you said, Ian, you just kind of you take something from each one, and sometimes it's necessary to change something slightly about yourself, not just who's coming into your life.
Yeah.
And as long as you can acknowledge that, then you're usually ready for a good relationship.
Yeah. I agree, 100%.
Okay, that's good. We're getting some good stuff done today. This guy wants to be roasted, and I don't want to do the roast anymore because I feel like,
oh God,
no, it's just because the show is always been a positive show, and I think me and Luke kind of started the show as a positive show, and I don't want to turn it into a roasting.
So wait, he just wants us to roast him?
That dude, it happens. We started. We did it once. We did it once, like 4 or 5 episodes ago, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, every week, people want to be roasted. Like numerous people want to be roasted.
This is from something, isn't it? What's this? Someone else does this.
It's the roast of.
Nobody else in bodybuilding does.
No, it's a podcast where people do this and then they just fucking send shit in. People just shit on them. And I can't remember what it is.
Why would you want to be shit? I don't understand. I still can't understand for the life of me why people want to be roasted. But
you know what? It's because they'd rather. I know it sounds sad, but like 2 minutes of what they consider fame being roasted than none. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Well, what I decided was instead of roasting, we're going to critique. Because that would
why don't we say really, really nice things about them? Pull up their Instagram.
Well, no, we're not going to be
really fucking nice. Like, this guy has the nicest eyebrows I've ever seen in my fucking life. I wish I had eyebrows like that.
No, I think what I want to do, honestly, what I want to do is, I think I decided we should make it a critique and not a roast. That way, it's consistent with the positivity of the show.
Okay, so we got Matt Minister. He's 19 from Australia, from Melbourne.
Let's see his. We can critique his form if these are videos.
Bench form here. Let's play this.
Check it out. Let's see what's going on.
That's pretty good.
I was gonna say that's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. That's good form. I don't know. Yeah. He didn't bounce it. He paused it.
No, there was a little bit of a there.
Yeah,
but no, that's pretty solid for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he a powerlifter or what? He said powerlifter, didn't he?
It says powerlifter here.
Okay, so I'd give him that because that was kind of a powerlifting.
Yeah, that pause is a powerlifting.
Yeah, no, that's fine for sure. Yeah.
We got him there.
His deadlift with 3 plates, 3.5. Form's pretty good.
Yeah. He's not touch and go. He's taking a good second there, resetting, getting it back up. Chest is high.
He's got a little tin quiff. That always helps.
Yeah.
Let's see
that Fouad? What?
What?
Tin.
I don't love this.
The hair?
No, his form on these rows I don't love. I don't know.
Oh, he's leaning back a little too far.
He's leaning back and he's musing the hip.
So okay, we can use this. We can use this for a constructive criticism. Okay, so he's
moving into the contraction. He's not actually. His elbow drive is through his hip movement. It's not through his elbow movement.
Yeah, like what I'm seeing is half the movement is him leaning, and then the other half is a little bit of elbow.
Exactly. Yeah,
and it should be
shorten the elbow drive by moving back.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Very
so his dog.
Well, no, let's see his dog. I want to critique his dog too.
That's a good dog.
Yeah,
it's a good dog. Okay. People are gonna like the roasting a lot more than the.
I'm still looking at his quiff.
What's a quiff?
It's like your hair quiff. Yeah.
The front bit.
That's a UK thing. We don't use that over here.
What word do you use?
Hair.
Like your hairstyle, your hair, whatever.
Your hairdo.
Is it really UK quiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't use that here.
I didn't know that. It's good to know.
Form's not bad here. He could be coming down a little further. Yeah, this is more boring. We should go back to roasting.
Roast is so easy.
I mean, there's a picture of him with his girl. I can shit on his girl if we want.
Okay, wait. I gotta say something here. So you guys see how his knees are bowing inwards?
Oh yeah, that's he's getting some.
So this is how you know you have way too much weight on the bar. Not way too much, but you have too much weight on the bar.
Yeah.
He's leaning forward on the way up, so he's using his lower back, and his knees are coming in. So it's not.
Well, the lean forward thing is definitely a powerlifting thing. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
You know, doing the hip movement like that is different, definitely different. But he's getting movement on his knees there, which I don't know if that's just like a weak abductor thing, or if it's just poor control. But it's because I mean he's moving the weight pretty easily, so I don't think it's a weakness thing from a squat standpoint.
This guy asked to be roast originally.
Yeah,
I mean, this is fine, but you could get under the weight more. Like if you're trying to be powerlifting overhead press, that's not 100%.
Yeah,
sometimes.
So did he ask to be roasted initially?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Let's just not. You know what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's either roast or nothing. I'm trying to be because I don't know. There's nothing really to critique. He's doing his form's all pretty good.
He looks pretty well.
Yeah.
He's passed. He's basically passed.
You got 4 plates here, and this looks like a 10 or a 5. I don't know.
190 kg, yeah.
All right, let's see if he does it. How many reps is he going to get? I'm going to say 1.
3.
I'm saying 1.
3.
Oh.
That's a lot of back in there.
That's some reps.
That's a lot of back there, Tim.
Told you. Single.
It's 1. I said a single.
I thought he's going to get like 3.
Watch. Okay, this is what you don't want to do, guys. Watch his back here turns into like a rainbow.
Well, yeah, because his back moves before the weight moves.
Well, he's not sitting down with his hips,
Yeah.
so there's no
Watch his
quad.
back rounds to shorten to make the movement, and that's weird.
It's almost like a stiff leg with a rounded back.
They call that the dog shitting.
Yeah.
So it does look like a dog shitting. That's actually good. Never heard that before. All right, let's move on from this. He's punching above his weight, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
All right, but how come he's not punching above his weight here? Is this a different girl?
Yeah, this guy's fucking all over the place with these
What
girls.
is it? Is this his sister or something? So
Deb. That's Deb.
That's
okay,
Deb.
here he is with Deb. And here he is.
Well, there's tag. Click the bottom left. See who's she's tagged.
No, that's the bird. That's his bird.
It's
Because he said fair to say I was snubbed for the luckiest guy ever.
Okay, yeah, and then she's doing hard. So that's his girl.
Who's this?
That's the same girl.
Oh, this is the same girl?
Yeah.
That's Belle. I love you more, baby. Yeah, see, that's the same girl.
Is this a different one here? That's a different girl.
Click the tag there.
That's Emma.
Emma.
This is Emma.
This looks like friend zone shit, though. This isn't like relationship
Yeah,
stuff.
that's friend zone.
Because, I mean, you can see his girlfriend liked it. Belle Oram and 81 others liked it. So the girl liked it.
I feel awkward commenting because they're 19, and if he's 19
this?
now,
This is a different girl too. Look, thanks for the great night.
If he's 19 now and these pictures are a little bit back in time, how old will he?
He has more female friends than I've had in my entire life. I can say that.
I feel awful.
Okay. These are all different girls too.
Yeah, why does this guy have so many female friends? This is question him a little bit.
He's a fucking player, man. Or he's or it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I think he might be simping a little bit on this one, you know.
It's okay, lad. Just be honest.
All right, man. Good for you, dude. You got good lifts and you got a bunch of chicks around you. You're doing well. All right. What's the beef behind you disliking Generation Iron? I think that's directed at me, obviously.
Does anyone fucking like Generation Iron?
Dude, it's very simple. I'm going to explain it like this. Generation Iron does nothing to promote bodybuilding, and all they do is shit on bodybuilding.
Well, I mean, I think they're completely out of touch with like what current bodybuilding is.
It's not only that. I have an extreme displeasure for people who make money from bodybuilding, and all they do is shit on it.
Yeah.
You know, people only know Generation Iron because of movies they did about bodybuilding. And now every single video they put out is shitting on modern day bodybuilding. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know, it's pretty simple to understand.
It's pretty poorly done as well. Like the quality is quite shit.
Yeah, no, I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
What are your opinion on spews for views? People talking shit. I think he means clout chasing. Like people talking shit about others to better themselves in their social media. Kind of along the same lines of the last question.
I'm not
but there's a lot of people that do clout chasing shit. Like they just talk about other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you're choosing to watch the video. If you're giving them views, that's on you. You know?
I don't know if that's true, man. I think.
But why? I mean, if someone's putting a video and all they do is talk shit and you watch it because you like, look, Melissa watches tons of like Real Housewives and that bullshit. To me, I'd rather fucking walk on glass than watch that garbage. But someone watches it and someone gets entertainment out of that. If you're one of these people that likes to watch people just shit on people all day and you're giving them views, there's a market for it. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. But that's what Generation Iron does.
Great. That was very wise.
Yeah, but we're talking about different things here because Generation Iron is shitting and they're being. What I'm also saying why I don't like Generation Iron is I think they're completely removed from the reality of the bodybuilding world as well.
Yeah. So you think someone creating videos that have nothing to do with them and only having to do with other, like when people used to do Rich Piana videos that had nothing to do with them, they were just talking about Rich because they knew having Rich Piana in the title of their video was going to get them a lot of clicks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is this entirely what Greg Doucette does?
Yeah, it's his whole channel is clout chasing.
His whole channel is just like talking about whether people do this or that or shitting on them or not shitting on them. Yeah. It's all just about other people. But I mean, his viewership is huge and it's increasing very quickly. I mean,
but Greg is good at other stuff. Like Greg actually, like when he explains about different diets and things, like
absolutely, yeah.
I bet you he could have a big channel and just do that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
but then it's like
someone that he just goes by what people request a lot. I think.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
People like he'll get 1,000 comments and people like, oh, talk about whether Mike O'Hearn is natty. So it's like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
We live in times where it's very fickle like that, and that's what's really
man.
Yeah, I guess if it's just entertainment, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I always get asked.
I got to be honest. it's kind of it does bother me, but I don't know. I can't really put my finger on
what
why.
bothers me with Generation Iron, if we're going back to that, is when I watch it, I feel like it's putting out just the completely wrong depiction of what this industry is. You know, it's giving people that think that people that are relevant are not relevant, that topics that are relevant are not relevant. You know, like that people like us that are actually immersed in it, we don't even think about these fucking things. And they're being promoted as like, this is what's going on in the industry. And we're like, who? What? Like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah.
They just seem completely out of touch to me. And that's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's two ways. Like, okay, like if you look at like Nick's Strength and Power, I respect that channel because it's like, it's not anything to do with him.
But he's well informed.
But he's just covering news. So I'm like, that's a news channel in my opinion. But if we're talking about like people who use other people to get views, I'm like, you don't really have anything. You're nothing. No. Your channel would be nothing, except for that you're using other people's personas to get people to click on your shit.
Then that's down to you, isn't it, as a viewer, whether to watch it or not. Like Ian said, and unfortunately, most people for some reason do love it. Like I watch this gentleman quite often who does a breakdown of songs for other artists, So he's living off the artists, but I'm watching his channel.
But wait a minute. That's a different thing. He's breaking down the artist's music. That's actually there.
That's like saying like American Idol is no good because it's just other artists. It's not, you know.
No. That's not what I'm saying. When you go on a channel and you're like, is he natty or not?
Yeah.
You have no facts. You're just making shit up. You're just hypothesizing. It's your fucking opinion.
Yeah, but what I mean is the draw.
Could be completely baseless.
The draw is the draw. The name is the draw, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I was never drawn to this particular character. I was drawn to who he's talking about.
But that's my point. You have created, whoever you is, have created an entire channel that has nothing to do with your own fucking skill or personality.
Of course.
It's simply because you've put other popular people's names on your channel.
But then, who's laughing?
Well, I'm not saying they're wrong. If people are going to watch it, people are going to watch it, right? But we're saying our personal opinions about it.
Yeah, okay, look, from a morality standpoint, would I do it? No. Do I have a problem with someone else doing it? If people are watching it, no.
No, I guess what my question is, would you, like, do you watch it? Like, do you like that kind of shit?
Not particularly. I don't really like watching, like, anything overly confrontational that gives me anxiety. Like watching, like what I said with Melissa, watching Real Housewives or like people that are like, you know, channels like that, like a fucking Kenny KO kind of shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's horrible.
That just, it gives me literal anxiety that I'm like, turn this off. I can't watch it, you know?
But that's like Kenny KO is a good example to me, is like, you've done nothing at all, except you use other people's names to build your own channel. And a lot of the stuff you're talking about was supposed to either be private, that you've kind of pulled out of fucking found out some dirt somewhere and now you've let people's personal lives out in the bag, or you just made stuff up. So for me personally, it's just not, I don't know.
No, and I agree personally. It's not.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not my cup of tea either.
No.
Okay, last question. Why do men pee after we poo, but not poo after we pee?
Well, if I sit down to take a shit, I'm pissing first.
That's how I am. What's this guy talking about?
You sit down, you piss, and then you start to shit. You don't take the shit and then piss. But I mean, I'll admit, this is weird. Sometimes I'll piss and take the shit, and then I'll stand up. I'm like, I kind of still have to piss. Does anyone else have?
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
My prostate fucked. Okay, yeah.
I think that's because all our prostates are fucked.
Yeah, all three of our prostates are fucked.
That's just bodybuilding.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably common.
Okay, but
you always piss before you shit, right?
I'm trying to remember.
I piss before I shit. You sit down, you start pissing, and then unless you have to shit really bad, then it happens at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You what?
I don't know if you do always piss first.
You've shit first and then
piss. Don't you lock up? Like, don't you block your piss hole, like, from locking up?
No.
Like, is there not like a mechanism? Like, you know, like you can't spunk and piss at the same time.
No, you can't spunk and piss at the same time. So, that's different.
Like, if the shit's
protruding, coming out the same hole.
Yeah, I know, but like, isn't there like, if you're turtling, if the turtle head's there and it's popping out, are you going to still piss before that turtle comes out?
Well, I mean, that means you're getting on the toilet when you already shit in your pants. In that case, yeah, you might be shitting before you're pissing. But if you're waiting till you're in dire need and you're pooping yourself, well, then yeah, you're probably going to poop before you piss.
That extends the question. That extends the question. I wanted to ask you this.
Okay.
Do you like to let it brew?
Yes.
Like shit or piss?
The shit.
Yeah.
I don't like to, not for too long. I don't want to fucking be like.
No, but you want it to be like on
substantial. I want it to be substantial, yes.
Yeah.
You know you want it to be close.
I want it to be waiting, yes, and ready, on deck.
Yeah.
Feels bad. I've never pissed after shitting. I'm either at the same time or pissing first.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. Unless I'm I'm sitting there and all of a sudden this wave, like, you know when you get that like hot wave where you're like, I'm about to fucking poop myself. Like this is like hot diarrhea wave in your fucking, then yeah, if I'm sitting down, it's coming out quick and the piss is coming later. But other than that, it's always pissing and shit.
I'm with Ian. I'm with Ian.
You just make me realize how much I really like taking a poo.
You also look at your toilet paper and fold it when you're wiping your ass.
Always do that.
You don't look at your toilet paper, Fouad?
Yes, but I don't fold it. I just get a new piece.
Fold and use again.
He folds it and uses it again.
Yeah.
So you take a little bit, you wipe, you throw it away?
Yeah, I don't fold the fucking thing and do it again.
Oh, so I do?
No, fuck that. I'm getting
I take enough that I can fold it into like a section, and then I'll wipe. I'll fold it in half again. I'll wipe again.
Yes.
Because then you get some like thickness to it. I don't want no like thin little piece I'm wiping one time.
Nobody said thin piece. I'm getting.
Then you're fucking wasteful. You got to fucking be better for our environment here, man.
I would rather be wasteful and enjoy my wipes than have to fold. How many times do you fold, James?
You get off a piece about that long, and you get about 3 to 4 folds.
Exactly.
I'll get 4 folds.
I'll usually get 3 folds out of it.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And by the end of it, it's like a fucking peanut butter sandwich.
Yes. I need to get some toilet paper here so I can show this. But yeah,
all right, I gotta
get some folds here.
3 folds?
3 for 4.
You can get more than 3 for sure.
What if you fold and then you're wiping again and you puncture the fold?
You won't puncture. You won't
because you're making it thicker.
This is very compelling.
You're adding thickness to it. You're getting more tensile strength every time you fold.
It's like alloy.
Yeah. The more you wipe and the more you fold, the more protected you are against the shit on your paper.
More shit there's in the toilet paper.
Yeah,
well, I don't know how messy of shit you're taking where you're fucking like poo everywhere. You know, this is up to your fucking back, you know?
It's far more risky taking one sheet because that shit is penetrable.
Nobody said I take hold up. Nobody said I take one sheet.
No, he's doing the same thing as us. He's just wasting
it.
Yeah. He's just doing that.
Money bags over here can just
he's wiping his ass with money.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, you guys.
He's using Egyptian cotton fucking bed.
All right, I will start folding. I'm going to start folding this week. So I stop ruining the environment all by myself.
Good. That's funny.
Good.
All right.
Glad.
Okay, guys, it's been a couple hours. I'm going to let you guys go because I know you guys both have to eat probably and train, whatever other shit. Ian, thank you very much. James, thank you very much. I'll get this up today or tomorrow, and we'll do it again.
Beauty. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
Take care, gentlemen.
Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.